Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to the Tales of Galaea. I am the Galaean, your game master in Living Critical Fail, and today we have another exciting chapter for you. Before we get to it, let's nod approvingly to our fantastic players. We've got Guillam, Ali, Z, and back is Bonbeesly. Thank you all for being here. Now let's pretend for a while, shall we? We've got some recaps to do, everyone. Let's pull up some music. All right. I think today we are going to start with Divide.
Another dawn is dead, and with it comes a new wave of dread. It would be all too easy to curse this circumstance. What's one more twist of this dull blade in my heart? To be immediately assumed a murderer, a villain. Another group of fools putting targets on the back of anyone whom they deem unworthy. Anyone who poses a remote chance of being a threat to their perfectly maintained version of status quo. What's one more group hunting me down? It's not like I have anything left to lose anymore anyway. My family destroyed. Anya, Mom, Dad, Soraya, the farmhouse. Would Soraya have been able to carry on? Would she have given these people a chance? Or was she just as blind as the rest of them? It must be easy to be nice when you're not running for your life constantly. Was she just ignorant to her own privilege? And here I am, comparing myself to everyone else again. My hands are far from clean. The damage I've caused, the rivers that have turned crimson red in the wake of that last mission. Am I the true narcissist? I thought I was above the drivel of the self-absorbed masses after all. I was the one lecturing and accusing Oscar countless times of only caring about himself. And yet he risked everything for me, and how do I repay him? How do I repay any of his sacrifices? Of all of them, when I have nothing to give? Would they want me to help the tortoise ladies or failed musician con men? Would Soraya really want me to consort with little Miss Short-Staffed Twinkle-Fingers over there? Or any slime sparkers of this town, for that matter, finger flapping their magic around as a crutch for true strength? The hand-me-down tunic-wearing candle lighters who shirk the discipline required to obtain strength through actual physical toil. The blood, sweat, and tears. Mostly just blood and sweat lately. But that's what this glowy crap city of street magician hustlers will never understand. And now we mysteriously have received a note that we are being summoned to some ironically named Temple of Hope, where we can surely be further implicated in whatever sparkle slop scheme is being hatched by some 2-bit glitter huffers. I really wanted to believe Soraya. I wanted to believe that my preconceived notions would be wrong. At least I think I wanted to believe that. Regardless, how are you supposed to drop preconceived notions when every preconceived notion comes true? And you find out that your instincts are always right, and that everyone you think would suck does actually suck. If every preconceived notion becomes post-conceived with painful precision, where am I supposed to see that I am actually wrong? Is there anything left to dwell on? My ways may be accurate, but are they the best? To explore Soraya's teachings, Oscar's lessons, the old stories of our ancestors told ages ago as bed stories by my mother. Maybe they, Asuna, Tallulah, perhaps even Luke, maybe they could be part of the path to honoring those sacrifices. At the very least, I will keep the slightest spark alive in the possibility. For whose sake, for them, for me, I can't pretend to know for sure.
Very nice. Well done. I don't like when Guillam started with this. I don't like this at all.
I did feel that you should be holding up your hand like this as you were talking. Like take the bard declamation pose. Okay.
All right, we are gonna go to Asuna. Let me make sure your music comes in nice and clear.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay. So, after the incident, we witnessed, they told us, hey, you guys stay in the city for questioning. And, our group, we didn't just want to stay still. We're like, we want to do something. We wanted to solve the mystery because we didn't want to get in trouble. So, we went back to the shopkeeper guy investigated the situation. He mentioned, we asked some questions. He mentioned, the client seemed anxious and really just wanted her jewelry fixed like ASAP, which is honestly kind of suspicious. The whole thing's really suspicious, but it's magic, whatever. Just a normal day. We also had asked him about, what if his things were tampered with, but he also mentioned, that kind of stuff wouldn't be kept out in the open, so that kind of, knocked that possibility, out the door. But then we went through the back room of the shop, had a bunch of tools, parts, really messy, all that kind of stuff. And there was a little back door to an alleyway. Went through that too, asked a bunch of questions, asked if he had the original parts and everything that we could maybe look more into. And I think from what I remember, he told us he sent it to a blacksmith to get smelted. So that dream was dead. But he said he had the clasp that was in this little box that I ended up taking that had a bunch of scrap in it. Got some magical vibes from that. So took that along with us. That was very important. And, I think that could definitely maybe help us down the line. And then, we leave, go to the inn. The inn's closed for unforeseen circumstances. Whatever, okay. Then we go to the guild, try to get some help, do a lot of rambling. I was kind of just there listening, vibing, absorbing. And then, we got some food, went to sleep, and got this note. And then now we're here, and we're going to see where things go next. So,
All right.
We shall see.
We certainly shall. Very well done. All right. I am kind of worried to say this, but it's Guillam's turn. Let's see where this takes us.
Well, perhaps we'll have a theme.
Uh-oh.
The City of Mages. Astralarum would be better named the City of Lunatics. Knowledge of the arcane must rot the brain, for there is no other explanation for the insanity I've found in this sanatorium. In any civilized place, a high official who soiled their hands with brute labor would be stripped of their responsibilities and confined by the physicians long before their derangement metastasized. But this city is not civilized, and I fear I've left lands governed by gentility long behind me. One only needs glance out the window to see what Astralarum has won for itself with its abandonment of blood and breeding, a noxious fog that smothers large sections of the city in eternal night, women who vanish into thin air, and a mad archmage clearly intent on using his position to force Lady Wallace's unpaid bill upon us. For the avaricious barkeep has been revealed to be no less a figure than a sitting member of Astralarum's ruling council, who plies his subjects with spirits when he should be attending to matters of state. He is clearly a prime specimen of that useless breed of spiteful civil factotum who so often haunts those of proud pedigree. With leadership such as Astralarum's, I have no doubt the gods will be worshipped here again within a generation, if the city's walls don't crumble first. But beyond the sting of a madman's official displeasure, my estimation of the jeweler DeMarc proved true, as my judgment so often does. The man folded at the first hint of pressure, and, truly, the difficulty of the interrogation lay in deciphering what he said through his blubbering, rather than compelling DeMarc to speak in the first place. Unfortunately, it's clear he had no hand in the Lady Wallace's disappearance, as much as I might wish it. With that avenue of inquiry closed, I fear there are no simple paths to discovering the truth of Wallace's vanishing. And discover the truth we must, for while she is unavailable to repay the Archmage, he will clearly expend his efforts in keeping the investigation focused on the laziest solution, namely, that the people closest at hand at the time of his patron's disappearance worked some evil upon her. A farce, of course, but I have no doubt the gendarmerie will be willing to accept his explanation, given how indolent such men are by preference and practice. If there is one thing with which I might console myself, it is that the Wanderers Guild has proven itself not completely useless. Of course, the people here share the obtusity I now know to be common to Astralarum, and are incapable of recognizing the truth when it is spoken plainly to their face. No matter how often I repeated myself, they are obviously willing to lend credence to the Archmage's spurious accusations, another sign of how little the lower classes can be relied upon to act on principle. But they do seem to possess a hidden means of egress from the city, which might prove most advantageous, even if this matter of the dematerialized woman is resolved. And my companions have proven themselves useful. which is never assured when dealing with mercenaries of their type. Lady Devi was most helpful in dealing with DeMark, and the Magus Asuna was even willing to trespass back into the Archmage's tavern to investigate Wallace's former room, though we chose to hold off on that course at present. And though our rough handling of the jeweler may have discomforted Grandmother Tallulah, her fate in this city is lashed to ours, and I have no doubt that she will do her utmost to resolve the affair to our mutual satisfaction. And if not, well, Astralarum is not the first or greatest city I have left in haste. If these mages think to bind me here, they will merely prove themselves to be greater fools than they already seem.
True.
Wow, dropping truth bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Okay.
I want to hear it again.
Yeah, let's rewind. Bees, you got
Encore.
a recap for last session?
I do.
Excellent. I'd love to hear. Granny Tallulah.
I'm glad I'm at the end. It's going to change the whole tone. Dearest Timonvet, as I relax in this room at the Wanderers Guild, I think about how you might have handled the day. I think about... Oh, wait, I have an accent. I think about our time adventuring and how sometimes I had to remind you to be patient. But sometimes the best way to learn about people is to be patient and quiet and just observe. Sometimes talking's the best, but today I decided I would just observe so I could learn all about my new companions.
Oh, no.
After the prideful pet inn and tavern, it was decided to go and speak with Mr. Abel DeMark. My new friends decided the best way to get the truth from the jeweler was through intimidation. Had I not already decided to observe rather than participate, I would have tried to persuade them how much further kindness will take a person. But instead, I watched on as Lucarian and Devi frightened the poor man, and Asuna investigated the back room for signs of dangerous magic. Once the trio decided Mr. DeMark was innocent of any wrongdoing, we headed back to the Wanderers Guild. We made the guild aware of the situation, and they offered to help by suggesting they could show us a way to escape Astralarum. I think this offer was a test that Lucarian failed. For now, we're all resting in our rooms provided as members of the guild, and we wait to find out what happened to that poor woman, Rosamond. Asuna is a bright and friendly woman. She seems to keep things close to the chest, being rather reserved, quiet, but also cooperative. She clearly has great knowledge about magic, and I'm excited to learn from her. I'm certain I can help her open up a bit and feel more comfortable speaking her mind. I think all she needs is a boost to her confidence and some reassurance that it's safe to be the strong, brilliant woman I know she can be. Timon, I think you would really like Devi. She is very focused in a pure and uncomplicated way. I can tell she is an impressive fighter, though it's my hope we won't have to do much of that in our travels. She definitely has depths to her that she hides from the rest of us, maybe even herself, and I can't wait to uncover them. The poor woman seemed completely bamboozled by my gift of one of my homemade oatmeal cookies, you know the ones, the recipe I finally perfected after years, but she also seemed grateful, though I caught a bit of melancholy there. I wonder what's happened to Devi to make her so violence-focused, but I know I can help her see that violence isn't always the best way. I like Lucarian.
The end.
He reminds me of our Jalni when he was young, haughty and persnickety, but such a joy to us. Just as Jalni grew into a fine man, being full of love and an exceptional teacher, I think Luke can be the same. He seems to come from a place of wealth, but he either lost it or it was taken from him. His clothes are in desperate need of darning, and I get the feeling he needs money more than the rest of us. Whatever situation caused him to lose the comforts he was accustomed to is likely weighing very heavily on him. I hope to be able to help him see how much more valuable to him things other than money and status can be. Underneath that mask of self-importance he wears is a hurt child, and I hope I can bring the comfort, support, and encouragement he is likely starving for.
That was amazing.
This is hard to read. I'm not done. I'm sorry. I am very excited to be traveling with my new friends. I know we'll face many tribulations, but I'm certain we can overcome them. You used to say I could be too hopeful for my own good, But why live to be 374 years old with 7 children, 12 grandchildren, and 18 great-grandchildren if you can't be optimistic and see the good in everyone? I miss you, my Tim and Vet, and I wish you were still on this plane so that we could travel together again. But I carry your strength and determination with me. Gifts not even death can steal away. That's it.
Wow. Fantastic. That would that went a lot nicer than I thought it would have gone. What do I know?
Man, responding to a situation with empathy. Imagine.
Wow.
Oh,
Killing them with kindness, I guess. Maybe. Definitely the killing part. I just don't know how yet. All right, let's move on. I think
I'm very glad Tallulah is here to, offset the seasoning of the stew, shall we say.
I agree.
It's real hard reading that right after hearing your recap that nearly made my head fall off. So
it's good there's some moral anchor for this group right now because it's
Yeah, we kind of need that.
oh yeah, it was real clear from last session that it was missing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
it's fine. It's
Big time.
fine. Yeah.
That's funny.
Just one more session of that, we probably would have been in magic jail. So it's good you're back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We might have a good chance of that still. But
Yeah, it's true. It's actually
That's fair.
It went from 100% to like 70.
Yeah, I sounds about right.
Well, I mean, it depends if they catch us before we get to this, escape route out of the city.
Nope.
The escape that then banishes us from the Wanderers Guild and the city.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that getting banished or never being able to return to Astralarum is not great.
Yeah, as bad as the city is, that's not.
I don't know. It doesn't seem very pleasant to me. I know some great places, other lands we can. Well, I'm not welcome there, but you might like.
He's like, there's about 6 places I can go, and they're terrible. But the ones next to him that I can't go,
The one.
But that one, yeah.
Put in a good word for me while you're there.
Tell him I was just kidding. Ha.
Find me on the way.
But maybe don't tell them where you last saw me.
You are currently in the Wanderers Guild downstairs, basically the entry room. Let's find this real quick. Looks something like this is the outside, obviously, but you are inside that building. It is pretty early in the morning, and basically you had just been handed a letter that, if you'd like, I can show on the screen again. Hold on one second.
Very mysterious, very cloak and dagger.
Well, I know how you like it, cloak and dagger. So let's do that. And bring it a little bit bigger.
You know me well, GM. Luke Carrion likes to keep a low profile.
Dive brings up a good point. It's a letter, run away. That's always good. If he knows something about the situation. It reads, I have some information about Rosamund Walth you might find useful. Please come speak with me tonight at 11:30 p.m. at the Temple of Hope in the Violent Parade. Everybody here knows that the Temple of Hope is like one of the most basic temples in all the world. It's like the most, almost everybody looks for hope and prays to the god there, Elridian, for any number of things. Usually he takes care of like birthdays and stuff like that, but he also takes care of what they call Day of Beginnings in Galaea. But people come there anytime for any number of reasons. It's a very common temple found almost in every large-ish settlement, definitely. Obviously, Astralarum once had this, but Currently, it does not. But it did have it at one time. As far as you guys need to know, their Temple of Hope is not, let's say, a unique temple even here. So, so Sarah Portent is the officer. She's that basically dragged you down from your rooms upstairs and handed you the letter, and she handed it to one of you. Basically, who do you think picked up the letter or read it?
Me.
Oh, no. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, Tallulah, make sure that letter gets in your inventory. And, yeah, there we go. So you're all just standing there. I'm assuming you all read it, and there you go.
Yeah. I read it aloud, I guess, and they looked at it, probably tried to paw it out of my hands, but I resisted.
I'm sure.
Is the Wanderers Guild lady still like there?
Yeah, she's basically still behind her counter or whatever. She went up, got you guys, came back down, like rustled under the desk or whatever the area, pulled that out and gave it to you, and she sat down.
Okay. I would like to. Actually, I'll talk to the party first. So this is definitely suspicious. In a city that isn't big on religious anything, someone wanting to meet us in a temple in the middle of the night just doesn't seem like a good idea. At least without maybe some authorities, maybe the council man that doesn't love us.
It's trap, is it not?
Potentially, yes. You're not incorrect.
There's a chance. There's a chance. There's a chance it could be trapped. There's a chance it could be not a trap.
If it's a trap, we fight.
Well, the
I was
way
gonna
I see
say,
it,
would you be motivated to go if you're gonna fight someone? I'm just saying.
I'm in.
if it is a trap,
Okay.
I don't think we have any choice but to spring it. We are at, loose ends. Clearly, we need to solve this situation for ourselves.
Why do we need to solve it for ourselves?
I mean,
I'm so glad you're here.
he's gonna look around dismissively at the Wanderers Guild. Clearly, we're not being offered much aid and assistance.
I'm fairly certain the authorities are investigating it. Do you have a problem with authority, young man?
Shall we go? I believe
No.
it's likely a walk to the temple.
No.
It's not 11:30.
Yeah, it's like early morning, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like 5 or 6 or 7 in the morning, maybe. Maybe let's say 7 in the morning.
Well, no harm in, checking it out and seeing if there's, if it's a busy location, if
I
there are
bet
few
there's a lot of
visitors.
harm in that. I wouldn't mind going to look, but I do think that we need to speak with, I don't remember his name, the guy from the tavern. The council guy.
Open Plume? Archmage Open Plume? Okay.
Yes. I think we should speak with Mr. Open Plume first. And also, I need to take care of something here first. So, if y'all wouldn't mind waiting a couple of hours.
She's looking for more companions. She's trying to replace.
Wanderers Guild's the right place.
True.
Anybody want to swap?
I really doubt that, even if this Open Plume wasn't set on, recouping his costs, I think that letting him know whatever this rendezvous could be could scare off the only source of information that we might have on Wall's disappearance.
Do you plan to walk down the streets with a sign and screaming to the heavens?
I mean, I think we should go meet this person and see what they have to say.
Okay, well, I need to do something first, and we can continue this after that. And she kind of walks off to the kitchen.
Okay. Yeah, like I said before, the kitchen's just like maybe a hallway down or whatever. It's not the kitchen. There's like a big food area, a bunch of benches, like I said, and then there is an area that's being like where you can pick up food. Sure. So you go in there. There's a couple of other people already eating at some far tables, chatting quietly.
I actually want to go to like the kitchen and ask them if I can use the kitchen to make something.
There's a guy. So basically, there's a door that looks like it leads to the kitchen, and then in between, like, there's a wall, but the wall's a through wall. You know, where they put the plates and stuff down and things like that. Kind of like a normal serving area. You could probably maybe catch the somebody's attention through that, or you could go through the door, or what do you prefer? Just kick the door down.
No, I'd talk to somebody through the window.
Okay. Yeah. So there's it looks like there's two men behind there. Busily cooking. There's the smells of all kinds of delicious things, frying and baking and whatnot. Somebody turns to you and goes, "What would you like for breakfast?"
Hi, darling. I was actually wondering if I could, if there's any room for me in there. I need to bake something real fast, and I don't want to get in your way, but I have no other place to do so. It's kind of important Wanderers Guild business.
Baking is important Wanderers Guild business?
It is. Our reputation is important, and this will help.
Maybe roll for persuasion, I guess, at that point.
You got it.
Make sure.
How does a person roll in this? I remember. Too many windows. Okay. Persuasion, right?
Yeah.
Did it?
I believe you rolled perception.
Did. That's.
Oh, I did roll perception. You're right. I'm sorry.
And let me work on that dice too.
Ha ha!
Oh, you got a 20. Hold on a second. The dice area is not.
First roll gets first crit.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can make this work.
Still a first fail out there.
I think we failed a few times now.
Luke can have it.
What is that? 25? He's like, don't you already work here? Haven't I seen you bake here before? Of course. Come on back.
Fantastic.
So he points to the door, like basically to your left, his right, kind of kicks it off to that direction. And it's just a normal, like, swinging door.
Okay, yeah, I'll walk through, and I, for sake of not stealing the show, I will, my plan is to bake some blueberry muffins with a nice crumble on top. Just a dozen.
You can steal the show.
Okay,
just take
bye, guys.
See ya. It's a baking hour with Tallulah.
Yeah.
What are we baking today? So I like the idea of like you kind of kicking back there, looking around, and then just knowing kind of where everything is. You know, even though you've never been there before. So you're just pulling out blueberries and flour. There's sugar. There's all kinds of things. Tell me kind of what's your like mannerisms and stuff. There's these two guys like trying to cook around you, but also watching you and stuff. Like how do you imagine it's like happening?
So she's going to be humming the whole time. I'm going to, very cheerful, kind of surprisingly like nimble for a giant old turtle person. She knows how to kind of dance around people in the kitchen and not get in the way, mix things up. She doesn't make a mess. She might spill a little flour and quickly wipes it into her hand and puts it in her apron pocket so she can throw it away later. Yeah, it's very cheerful about it, just humming, mixing everything together, like smiling at the guys in there and making sure she's out of the way, just kind of chatting a little bit, like, oh, how y'all doing? You having a nice day? You like the job here? And then when she like puts everything in the oven, she's gonna she'll be like, I'll go and wait out there so I'm not in your way. I know how long it'll take.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, they're like, of course, no problem. Should we tell you when it's done baking?
No, I'll know. Thank you.
Good answer.
And she's
Good
just gonna
answer.
sit.
So you're kind of like back out in the main area, sitting down maybe at a bench or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously the remaining three of you just watch Tallulah just dart off into the kitchen area. What do you guys do after she takes off?
Did we eat breakfast yet?
You did not. You got woken up rudely. Not rudely, but
Well, I'm gonna go eat. I don't know about you guys.
So maybe
Right.
you guys kind of follow her in there. At least Asuna follows in there. I don't know if you two do. And you watch, but as you come into you can't see Tallulah anywhere. You're like, whatever. So as you go,
Where'd she go?
she's like, you obviously go up and get some food, and there's some like plates already there with some like eggs and little bits of meat and little bread, things like that. Nothing amazing, of course, but something at least decent and free. And you can see that Tallulah's in her own world back there, baking like just knocking things out. And you're I would say surprised at first, definitely.
Yeah,
Do you
not
guys
what I was
all-
expecting to see this morning, but I'm down for it.
He's like, I gotta eat first before I have to deal with
I gotta eat first.
don't-
I eat coffee.
deal with
like-
that later.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's the mood.
So is there a like buffet on offer?
Buffet is a pretty loose way of putting it. There's a bunch of plates up there, and there's some that are like, let's say, there's like the eggs and, like, let's say like a normal eggs and some meat and some bread. There's also like more like fruit stuff, like let's say like a vegetarian, just bread and stuff like that. And then there's a bunch of drinks too at the other end, waters and some certain things like that. There's not like a big spread of things that you were like putting onto a plate, It's just like a plate, and there's maybe 2 or maybe 3 different types of plates.
So like a less impressive continental breakfast kind of setup.
No, more impressive because it's free. Oh wait, I guess I don't know for others. Well, you have to pay for
Continental
hotel.
breakfast are like prepackaged muffins. They're not,
That's
they're not
true.
good.
That's true.
Some of them are nice, but most of them are not. No. All right. Well, I'll go try to find the least rubbery eggs and the best cooked food and try to put it together on a plate and make myself a little stuff.
You're picking stuff from other people's plate, like other plates. There's like a bunch of stuff. You're like, I'll just take this guy's fruit, and then.
Not a bad idea.
Yes, he will pick and choose, but get a cool plate for himself and then go
Okay.
down. What are there like teas and coffees available?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Assuming the tea is overbrewed, he's going to go with the coffee. And he's going to go sit down and start eating his
All right, fine.
Once I come back out, I'll grab a plate and sit with them. I'd like to say I noticed what he did through the window. Should I roll for that?
Yeah, you can roll for perception. 15? Is that what it says?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you notice that one person's kind of like grabbing a lot of plate. It's just like, oh, usually most people are just like grabbing their plate and then going, and this person's like, I don't want to hear Lucarian's reviews of Astralurum's businesses. I can't think of anything that would have more flags on it for inappropriate behavior. But thanks anyways. You notice that one person is like grabbing, like they're doing something else with the other things, and then of course you follow the hand up, and it's Lucarian just like, this is substandard completely. And then Greg goes out, he like sniffs the tea, he's like, over, and then goes and gets a coffee. He doesn't seem very pleased with the coffee either, I would imagine, but he continues on.
No, but that's more tolerable.
I've got to drink something, right? Yeah, so you notice, and you can kind of pick like before he leave. You notice before he's like left or whatever. If you want to say or do anything.
I'm going to say it when I go back out there. I'll take one of the plates that, I don't know, one that was missing
Yeah, like a fruit or whatever it is.
bacon or sausage or whatever.
Right, right.
So yeah, I'll come out eventually. They're probably still eating. Sit down with my plate and right across from Carrion and smile real big and look right in his eyes and oh God, I forgot what I was gonna say. So Lucarian, are you I assume you're well educated, yeah?
Oh, I had my share of tutors.
You definitely seem like you were raised in an environment where, propriety and manners and things like that were really important. Am I right?
Once again, it depends on how you weigh such matters. Propriety, manners, they have their worth, but they are too often the chains one uses to bind others' hands.
I see. So, you don't think that nobility or, the upper class have tend to have habits of being polite, at least on the surface?
You're asking some leading questions, my dear grandmother.
Granny, remember? Granny or Tallulah.
Forgive me, I try not to talk over such matters over a meal. It tends to spoil the appetite.
Mm. Well, I'll just say this. I know you didn't mean any harm, but what you did was very rude. Now there's a bunch of plates missing food and with your little fingers all over them.
They're not missing. I replaced what I left. I took what I wanted and replaced what I didn't.
With your little fingers.
My fingers are very fine, thank you. But I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, maybe you come from a place that's very unfamiliar to me, and that's understandable if you wouldn't know, so I'm just trying to be helpful. Perhaps in the future, just accept what's given to you with grace.
I appreciate your concern, grandmother, and I apologize if any offense was given.
Oh my God.
He is going to take a drink of his coffee and pull a face after that, but continue eating after.
How's your breakfast, Asuna?
It's great. I'm just
Breakfast and a
eating
show.
my eggs. It's that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's a great conversation you guys are having over here.
The entertainment is fantastic at this establishment.
Yeah, it's great in this establishment.
What's the point of having two bards in the party if they can't entertain, right?
That's true. Not like this.
What do you think about this letter? Do you think we should just go to that temple, or should we perhaps talk to that man from the inn? What do you think?
I say we should go. I don't know if we should do. I feel like if we talk to the guy at the inn, and especially if we told him about it, I feel like he would be more suspicious or something. So I just say go off and do our own thing.
Well said, Asuna.
How about you, Devi? You enjoying your breakfast?
I'm assuming, Devi, we didn't really catch up with how you're handling breakfast, how many plates you're touching, how many baked goods you're baking.
Well, I was just, Devi was very shocked that there was this intense conversation over the letter, and then Tallulah spontaneously bolts away, and then the other two just kind of bolt into the dining area, and Devi's ready to have this conversation. She's ready to go. Sees everybody dart off and slowly makes her way into the kitchen, grabs like some meat and carrots or something. And she's finishing it as she's listening to this conversation. Trying not to get into it again because, like, are people just going to leave? What's happening? And so she's listening while she's finishing her food. So I'm at that point. And then what was said?
What I said?
No, what Tallulah said.
Oh, how are you enjoying your breakfast?
It's fine.
What do you think about this temple? Should we perhaps let the authorities know or just go?
You all decide. I'm going to be outside. Let me know when you're ready.
So you wolf down your meal.
Yeah, I
basically?
walk down the meal, and she's ready to go outside and start like some stretches and push-ups and stuff.
Outside or outside the area?
Outside, like right outside the actual building.
So you're in like the sunlight, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys just watch Defy, put down her blade, just fucking get up and book out.
Mm.
You can hear the door, the main Wanderers Guild just swing open and close.
Well, it seems that I'm outvoted, so I guess we will meet. We'll go check the place out, see what we can see. Excuse me a moment. She runs back in the kitchen. She's going to take her muffins out and then ask the guys if they have some kind of basket or something.
Basket? Not really. We've got this, you can use this old kettle we're not using. Would that work?
Well, I plan to have these delivered to someone. I'm not certain how to do that. Is there maybe a place nearby? Or maybe someone at the guild front desk might know?
Yeah, you might want to talk to Sarah. She might know.
Okay.
Back here, it's all pots and pans.
She'll thank them, say it was nice meeting them. She'll say that their names because she obviously asked it.
Oh, there's like hugs. So you guys are hugging and be like, "Oh, come back whenever you need some more muffins."
Love you.
Hi.
Walk out with a plate of the muffins and go to the front desk.
How many? You probably said it, but how many muffins did you make?
6. I might have said 12, but I think 6.
Okay. So yeah, you walk out, back out of the kitchen area into the eating area, and then down up to the front.
Yep. And
Okay.
it's Sarah there, right?
And she's like, "Oh, what are those?"
Oh, they're muffins. I just baked them myself. Would you like one?
Well, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. And she folds the plate out so she can pick her favorite.
Oh, she's like, "Any of these?"
Anyone you like, whichever one seems most tasty to you.
He like looks. She's like, "These smell wonderful."
Thank you. I love
Oh.
bacon.
Oh, that's terrific. We don't get a lot of people baking here. She ends up baking muffins like these here. She pulls out, sniffs it closer. She takes a big bite and her eyes light up. She's like, "Oh my goodness, this is wonderful."
I kind of have like humbly say, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I'd like the rest of these delivered to someone. Do you know how I might go about doing that?
We can handle deliveries through the Messengers Guild, or if you want to hand deliver it yourself, that's all. It depends on what you want to do. Messengers
I don't have the
Guild.
best record with delivering things, I'm afraid.
You hear from the other room.
What's it about, grandmother?
the officer's like, "Well, maybe you shouldn't deliver it just because of, your history."
Yes, I think you're right. I would rather have it delivered anyway. I think we're off and about to do some other things. Maybe, I don't know if you have some kind of basket or something. I'd like to have this delivered to Mr. Abel DeMark. with a little note and she like already has it written and kind of takes it out of her pocket and
Okay.
tucks it in there.
Okay.
Wonderful.
She goes, you can, we don't pay for, messaging services. You'll have to, we can have, they come here basically to pick up, message like letters and stuff, and we can send this out. We probably have some sort of, nice box or something we can put it in. Maybe not an open basket through the Messengers Guild. It might become crumbs by the time it's there. We could do that. Would that be all right?
That would be wonderful. Thank you. How much would it cost?
Let me look right now. Muffin delivery. Wait, what is that really? Less than £5 within settlement it's just a, 1 copper piece.
Okay. I'll hand that over.
Unless they're more, you think the muffins are more than £5?
No.
Are they like fucking big muffins?
Nope.
Lots of hearty oats. No, okay, that'll be a copper piece.
Okay. Yeah, I'll hand it over.
Okay, so make sure you get that out of your inventory, and I'm assuming there's the muffins. You watch Sarah kind of put it all together with the note, like kind of nicely placed on top, and she kind of closes it up. And she goes, they haven't come yet, but they'll be here probably within an hour. Does that work?
That's perfect. Thank you so much. I did have a question too. Sorry to bother you.
She's still eating the muffin. She's like, oh.
Just out of curiosity, if someone were to go wandering into one of those temples, would that look unsavory?
Which temples?
Um,
Making me speak Southern.
Yeah, you're welcome. Temple of Hope, perhaps?
Oh, you mean the temples here in town?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Well, of course, all entry into the temples are forbidden.
Oh, that's what I thought.
It's outlawed by the Arcane Council. You want to steer clear, especially since you're under such suspicion of your recent trials here.
Yes, that's what I thought, but I want a confirmation. Thank you so much. You are a delight. You have been so helpful.
As are you. Thank you for my breakfast.
You're welcome. She kind of wanders back, stands over Lucarian and Asuna. Hi there.
Hello, grandmother. Are you done with your chore?
Oh, no.
I am, in fact, done making up for yesterday, I hope.
Yes, you didn't contribute all that much, but I'm sure today will be, put a new leaf in our cap.
She just smiles real big at him, kind of pats him on the shoulder. I hope to be helpful.
My God, the passive aggression you can just like taste in this one.
So, just to confirm, because I know we want to, I was outvoted to go to the temple. You are aware that it's forbidden to enter those places and would look very suspicious, correct?
I fear that there is little we can do to increase or decrease the cloud of suspicion above our heads in the city at the moment. No one seems willing to take us at our word, so we must do something.
Well, I don't know that that's true. We've done nothing wrong, so why? There would be no evidence to convict us of any crime. Why not just wait it out?
Alas, we do not live in, an idealized republic where virtues can be proven through, thought processes alone. I fear that it doesn't really matter. We have the appearance of guilt, and that'll be enough.
I'm thinking.
Oh, take your time.
I'm still outside, or else I would be.
Okay. All right. What are you doing outside? What's the regiment looking like out there?
She's on to 6 sets of 20 push-ups, and then moves on to the crunches.
Yeah.
And then back to the stretches.
You start with stretches?
Start with stretches. Always start with stretches.
Always start with stretches. She's done this before.
Start and end with stretch.
Nice.
She's a pro.
She's already got her jail regiment when she's spending the rest of her life.
Or her escape regiment.
Oh. You and Devi and Luke are going to get along fabulously, I think.
I don't think
In
she's escaping
priorities,
them.
I don't know about this exercising. In priorities, certainly.
Okay.
Fight or flight.
All right. Smash cut back to Lula thinking.
Well, I had to let the dice decide for me.
Oh.
And that is, well,
Stab.
I don't like doing this, and I'll have you know that I think it's a very terrible idea, but we are a group, so I will go with the group. We can go look at the temple. Again, this is a terrible idea.
Splendid. Let's go.
Okay, we go, I guess.
Do it.
If it is so dangerous to be around this place, perhaps we should wait till closer to the rendezvous time, so we don't arouse suspicion poking around, unless we want to wait there all day.
We could go look at the shops.
Certainly. I know not what else to how else to spend the time.
How does Asuna feel about all this conversation?
I mean, I understand, there's definitely reservations about doing it and, the new information we know about, it maybe potentially causing us to look more suspicious, but at this point it's like, what else can you do? So why
Well,
not just
Sarah
do-
said that it's forbidden. It's actually a crime. It's guaranteed prison
Well,
time.
But
Can kindness save a runaway train? Let's find out.
I mean, they already think we're sketchy.
Let's give them an actual reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's give them some
That's
evidence
what I
now,
was
as
gonna
opposed
say.
to suspicion.
Let's rise to their low
I
expectations.
don't know. I just feel like
Solve
they
this
have
problem.
something against us, and I just got a bad feeling about it. I don't know why. It's just weird.
Well, I think our other plan of breaking into Wallace's former rooms had more risk attached to it than this. But we can be on our guard, perhaps disguise ourselves, or keep watch for this rendezvous.
Well, a thing I could do to help is I do have a way to send a, let's just say, an invisible spirit inside. Maybe we could just hang about outside instead of actually going in.
Did the note say we're meeting someone there for more information? I
Yeah.
forget it did.
Yeah.
Someone
Then
knows
that
more
could-
information about Wallace and wants to convey it to us, presumably.
I like that idea. I guess it's a little safer. But
At least, at the very least, since we do plan to go a little ahead of the rendezvous time, We can ensure there's nothing dangerous in there before we actually meet with this person.
That certainly seems sensible to me.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea.
Excellent. Let's go wander about this beautiful city.
Somebody likes it.
She walks towards the door. Waves
is
at
everybody-
Sarah on her way out. Bye.
Okay, so is everybody kind of like making their way out to the
I
outside?
guess we're all shuffling out the door.
Okay.
Never shuffle. Saunter.
Saunter. Well, I'm shuffling. You can saunter.
Yeah, you handle the sauntering.
Yeah, that's your job.
Sulk if you must, but
Sulk.
never shuffle.
No, that's
But yes, yeah, Lucarian will saunter after Grandmother Tallulah.
She walks slowly.
So we go one saunterer, one shuffler, and one.
Yeah.
How would you describe your slow walk?
Meandering.
I like that. I like that.
Excellent. Okay, so 3 people come out of the Wanderers Guild at 3 different times. Devi, you're just wrapping up your last bit of stretching, I'm assuming. And let's see.
So all 3 of them have come out.
Yeah, they all come out.
So they all come out at the same time. Like you said, they're a little bit different timing. What's the like minute apart?
No, yeah, maybe 30 seconds apart if
Okay.
they're being difficult.
So everyone kind of is approaching over towards my area as I'm kind of like.
Where are
finishing my
you?
stretching.
You obviously came out the door, and then maybe I'm sure you're not right in the middle of the road, maybe, but you probably
Imagine
pulled out 'cause
being like to the like near the side of the building, away from the road. So just like in like maybe if there's any sort of shade, it should be kind of like around the side of the building. But
Sure,
as,
yeah.
very close to the entrance. So as the people are coming out, they would probably see her
you can,
easily.
you can
and-
see, or they can see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, divides like to the left of the building. There's kind of like a area before like the other buildings or whatever. That's kind of like recessed a little bit, but he can still keep an eye. She can still keep an eye on whatever. Luke comes out. I'm assuming. Do you look for Devi when you come out, or do you just head straight to the temple?
No, Devi's been a very fruitful companion, of course. I'll
So
look for
you.
him.
Fruitful.
I see. As I see people come out, I'm already like standing up myself and walking towards the
Okay.
entrance. So I imagine like as the third person comes out, I'm like we're all gathered right at the front. And I'm like about to address them all because I haven't heard their conclusion yet.
Got it. Yeah. So yeah, you see Lucarian comes out. He sees you. He like smiles. He's like, "My partner in crime," and then you both like. You're
Partner
like,
is a
"Wait,
little strong of a word.
yeah, my subordinate in crime."
Subordinate seems a little cruel.
Oh,
But you like that better. But you like that better though. So
That's true.
not partner though. Yeah. Before you guys can say anything, Asuna comes out, and then Tallulah comes out. So it's not quite that much time in between everybody cycling through.
I said, so what have we all decided? Have we decided to go into the obvious trap, or do we want to speak to Open Plume?
Grandmother seems to have a way to reconnoiter the temple, hopefully sussing out if there's any danger or a trap waiting for in wait for us.
Did you say
Okay.
reconnoiter?
Yes,
What does that mean?
scout.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, now I've completed my morning ritual. I have my focus. This is all horrible idea. I feel like I I need to help you all. And I'm sorry, we maybe all got off on the wrong foot, but we can't. We should speak to the council or somebody, because I don't want to see all of you
In prison forever.
I've lost too much to just lose again, and this I don't know what you all have to fight for, what you've lost, but
I just kind of reach out and put a hand on her back, like,
She's like, this lady right here.
it's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna bake you a muffin later.
It's your favorite cake. You'll get 12.
Tell me what you want, baby. I got you.
Well, we have been told repeatedly that we should be trying to locate the Lady Wallet. And I'm sure if this person we're meeting has any information.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yes.
You have not been told repeatedly, but you can say that to them, but you have not been told that.
We've been. It's implied that because we're not more concerned about finding her,
Okay.
that we look more suspicious. That's more what I mean to say.
Got it.
We have. It's been suggested that we should be more concerned looking for Lady Wallet, but and I'm sure. So just sitting around waiting for others to handle it, I don't think that will be a fruitful course of action. And as well, if this informant has some sort of information bearing on the city, we can certainly report it.
Luke,
Earn goodwill that way.
listen to me, Luke. Listen. Luke. This is something now. We have something, Luke. We've now been given a lead. If we give this lead to the authorities, Luke, they like that sort of thing. I know I used to be an authority. I used to work as a guard.
Hey, Cab.
We liked it when people helped. When people reported
They
this.
say they like it when people help, but they just use it as an.
I am they. I am there. Luke.
Well, then you should know.
If they wanted us to help, then why would they frame us in the first place?
They say that telling the truth can't cause you any harm, when really they look for means to incriminate you. They are not on our side, Devi. I understand you.
The reality is, though, if we're going to go commit a crime, that just... You want us to commit a crime when we do have what they want. We have evidence that
What
we
crime?
are
Wait,
trying...
what
If we
is-
bring
what is
this
the
to
crime?
them,
What is the
they
crime?
entering the temple is a crime.
How is it a crime?
It's forbidden in this city.
They
It's
have a thing
forbidden in the
called-
city.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Why is it forbidden
Yes,
in
ma'am.
this?
Well, because... And she kind of whispers, they're very anti-religious here.
Who told you this?
Sarah,
When?
when you were exercising,
Probably during the stretching area. I mean, that time. I'm just playing.
you were working those calves. I
You
don't
were
know.
working. You were wolfing down eggs, I think, at that time.
Oh, I know as a player.
I'm just playing. I'm sorry. Continue. Yes, you know.
And we were gonna go after that, knowing that.
I mean, we were going to break into the prideful pets the other day. We were debating it.
We were not.
It wasn't a unanimous vote.
And we.
Well,
we
now we're
chose
like
not
half
to.
and half again, I feel like.
What about if we take this letter to the authorities and we tell them we offer to go investigate? So we're being cooperative, but we'll be the ones to find out the information. That way, if it's something, I don't know where they framed us came from, but if that's the case, that the authorities are framing us somehow, we'll find out.
We
They'll
did love
take
our
this letter-
vigilante justice. Yes,
They'll
as a
take
guard.
this letter, pat us on the
Great.
head, and say, "Thank you. Go sit in your room." If we want to clear our names, we have to clear it ourselves. We should
Wait,
meet this
wait.
person.
No, that's not how. No, the guards are not. We want to be on their good side. We want them to pat us on. the head is, as in your analogy. we would want to fight alongside them against whoever this. Why would this person want us to go into? They want us to commit a crime to meet them.
Divide, do you not understand why the property classes maintain guards? It isn't to help people in bad situations.
What did Oscar call this? This was conspiracy to commit a crime is literally what this person is having us do. They are a criminal in their okay. So how about this? How about we go ask the guards or really anybody of authority in this town if we can investigate this. We turn it in. If nothing comes of it, you can do whatever you want to do.
I feel that kissing the boot that is kicking us and then saying, yes, please, another, is not going to do us any good. But if that is the consensus of the group, then I will go along with it. But I truly feel it is imprudent and unwise.
Okay. Frankly, this one isn't negotiable. I will be going to the guards with the note, regardless, because
Who has the
is-
note?
I do.
That's right.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to know. That's all.
And may I have that note, please?
Certainly. Can I accompany you?
You absolutely may. Would anyone else care to accompany us? Perhaps get on the good side of these people who can help us find who has framed us.
I don't get any vibe that Devi's being dishonest in any way, right? Like, this all seems very genuine.
No, she just
That's how I'm trying to portray it. So.
Can I do
Lucarian
an
will
insight
shrug his
check
shoulders.
on a companion? I know we don't like to do those kinds of things.
Not really. Z PM me how you're really feeling, and Hulula roll for insight. I don't usually like that though, but
Yeah, I know.
we can try it out.
No. It doesn't matter anyway.
Wow, you almost got the highest and the lowest.
I know, it was so close.
Yeah, you just feel like she's telling the truth.
Great.
There doesn't
Yep,
seem to
I
be
hand it
anything-
over.
Doesn't seem to be anything too crazy coming out of her mouth.
Great.
This is the lead, everyone. This is good.
It is a lead. It is good. Handing it away to people who do not have our best interests in mind is ill-advised and ill-conceived.
We don't know. This could be from the Quell. You have to understand,
Levi, you need not convince me. I will do what is most advantageous in this situation, and your behavior is a certainty. If you are going to go report, I'm not going to go get caught sneaking into the temple when they go investigate. So, if you've drawn a line in the sand, let us walk across it.
I hope in due time you will see it was the right decision. But for now, yes, we must. Let's bring it back into the inn. Let's speak with Sarah. And then, if we can, find Open Plume.
I imagine he's at his tavern.
Just gonna taste the fucking word that comes out of his mouth. Ugh. Gross.
You know what? You're right. We should probably let's see if the tavern's reopened today. And I start marching off over there.
I follow.
Well, at first I would say, yeah, thank you to Lula. Thank you, or give
That's
like a
what
nod.
you guys
and
want to
then-
do, then I'll go with it.
So,
See what
did
happens.
the Wanderers Guild mention like what time they would need to know about this escape tunnel? Did Bergam like mention he needed some forewarning, or is there like a time of day? That was
He did not mention. You didn't book a You don't need to book a reservation for the escape tunnel.
All right, just making sure I know the options.
Good
But
question.
yes,
to
let
ask.
us away. Let us away.
All right. So you guys take the path back out of the Wanderers Guild, the long way around to basically back to the Prideful Pet. Obviously, you're still negotiating your way around the fog, but by now you're getting pretty comfortable going back through the three places you know in Astralarum. You make your way back up to the Prideful Pet, and unfortunately, it looks the same. There is a note pinned upon the door.
I approach and grab the. Or I don't grab it. Can I read it without unraveling it? Is it folded?
No, it's like hanging. It's just like a.
All right.
Yeah, it basically reads what happened, what you read yesterday. Temporarily closed.
Okay, it's the same sort of.
Yeah,
note.
it's the same. It's the same note, basically.
We walked past the path that goes up to the
Abel's store. Is that what you're talking about? Hilltop?
yeah, up to the hilltop, up to
No, basically you're like in between it. The Prideful Pet's like north of where the Wanderers Guild is, but the Hilltop's even more north than that.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna wait for Tallulah to catch up, and I guess the rest of the group.
I guess everybody else.
I guess.
If they're still around, who cares? All right, everybody catches up.
Do we know where? She's like asking everybody else where we might find this gentleman. That I don't know why I can't remember his name.
Open
Mr. Bloom. Aside from here, you probably should have asked that.
I think we should go up to the tower.
Oh,
This is so good having Z say that.
Wasn't there like a main
every part of me
building?
does not want to do it.
Yeah.
Does
It feels wrong to say.
Tallulah want to do that?
She does.
She doesn't even pose it as a question. She's like, she's telling it to Tallulah. She assumes the other two here, and then she's like, "I'm going now. Follow if you want." And I turn around, head the way up to the tower.
I follow, and as we're walking, you know what? I really appreciate your confidence, Devi.
Guess I'll just follow them.
She hears her say, and she doesn't say anything. Just focus. She hears something. I don't think she even fully kind of hears it. She's probably quite a few steps ahead, but she hears something matronly. In the distance. Something encouragingly matronly.
Big vibe of niceness.
Was Luke doing?
Sulking.
Sorry, I had some people in the alleyway making noise.
No worries.
I'm sauntering after them, of course. Perhaps not with my usual pep and flair, but I am committed to seeing this course to its conclusion.
You are. He is. Okay. bad you guys don't get the pep in the saunter, though.
It is astounding.
You're really missing out. You guys make your way out past the Prival Pet and back up mostly the same path you took to get to Northern Gemstones and more. But of course, you're up that big avenue that leads up to the center, the heart of the city, the High Citadel. This, again, is where the tower is, some other governmental buildings, and of course, the Astro Obelisk, which the city was built around. As I mentioned before, also, there is a, let's say, an inner wall that protects the majority of the city from the High Citadel, and there is, near the southern part of this wall, two big gates, big, heavy doors. You don't really see anything outside except for just there's the doors and like two statues on either side of the doors, and there's no like buddy waiting out there or anything like that. You're still pretty far away. You're like seeing this. It's still a ways down, but the street is so big you get a nice clean view going all the street all the way up.
I'm saying good morning to people as we pass.
Fantastic.
Commenting here and there to Suna about, oh, look at that lovely whatever building. Oh, what's that for? I wonder.
Yeah, there's like various people doing normal and somewhat lightly magical things that might be worthy to talk about, but nobody's really paying you guys too much attention. Device seems to be striding, let's say. Is it a stride that you're taking to your destiny?
Fuck.
I mean, it could be a good destiny. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I mean, you never know. All right, so you keep walking. What happens?
What are we seeing at this point?
Yeah, just basically, you're still about, I don't know, you're like 50 yards, more than 50 yards away. Like, you got a ways to go still. It's a big, like, clearing around all the walls. There's, like, nothing right up against it, just the walls. As it backs away, there's the different divisions of the districts that kind of reach up against it, like a hilltop behind it, and where you guys came from, Violet Parade, all that. But there's a big clearing. There's people obviously walking around. There's carts and stuff like that. It's like a big street around it. But as it gets closer to that actual wall, it's like there's nobody's really walking very close to it.
So she's at this point, she'd be looking for the guard, like the entry to the gate around like that fortifies it, the wall. It's looking for any sort of like any sort of guards or people of authority.
There's no people there. All you see are the two doors, obviously, the wall, the two statues, just that. There's not like a man standing guard or anything like that.
But there's like, what's a clear entryway into the walls?
No, the doors are closed.
But they are doors. It's clear.
Yeah, they're big like gates.
Okay, well, she's gonna go over there and see if there's any sort of like contraption to alert the guards or get anyone's attention.
Sure. As you walk up to, I don't know, bang on the ball or whatever, explain or whatever, the two statues, their spears like move down right in front of you and stop you from moving forward, taking you, I assume, by surprise.
Yeah, I would imagine. So they come down and she, jumps back and just takes a beat, watches and sees what happens. How tall were these again?
The statues?
Yeah, was this like a massive, like would have created kind of like a, enough to knock her over? Like what was the force?
It was more to like, it wasn't to hit you. It like went in front of you.
Okay.
And then basically it did like a, like you can't move any forward. It didn't, like the spears or whatever they have, like went down like this, basically crossing in front of you. They didn't hit anything or you. It was more to stop you from getting any closer to the gates.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so is anything happening after that?
I'm
just
remembering that this is a grave mistake, is what's happening.
How far is everyone behind me at this point?
They'll let you know.
Well,
They're
you're
running the other way.
striding.
Look, they're running the other way. They're on a boat out of.
You said that there were stalls in this area, and like a little commerce, something like that, GM.
Stalls?
Yeah.
Maybe on the far
Like a
side.
market?
Yeah, there's a marketplace. Basically, if you think of it, one side is like where you kind of came up. There's a lot of like things, and then the, like normal like what's the word? Like residential places, some inn stuff. There's a big side. Like the other side is the marketplace, but it's kind of like you have to go up and around, like against the High Citadel, and then back down. There's no real stalls like right against or directly nearby the High Citadel. Even if you go up and let's say you're where Devias, and you like turn around and you look down kind of the direction, you can see way down there, but it's the
So
opposite direction.
It's a sizable distance away.
Yeah, it's not. If you yelled, you probably wouldn't get anybody's attention. That's how far away it is. Let's say.
All right, because if it was in 100 feet or so, I'd probably like lurk at the edge of one just in case I wanted to pretend I was a shopper or something like that. But since that's not an option, I will be a little bit distance away from Divide behind her.
Yeah, as she gets closer, she's the only one that's like the only person in the city is that close to the gates, to the walls, even.
Which really should tell her something, but
Hello.
I'm assuming like maybe the three of you guys kind of slowed down a little bit as she starts striding closer and closer, and then you're kind of still out of the way of, let's say, the carts and the busy whatever, but out of the way, but closer, like you're still with that watching her instead of like let's all go or whatever. You're kind of like
No, I'm gonna walk up right
You're
next
with
to
her. You're like right next to her.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna walk
then
over there.
Luke and Asuna, where are you then? You can be back a
I'm
little
kind
ways.
of just like far back, just because like, especially if
I would-
she was like striding in front of us.
Yeah, Asuna, you know a lot about the city, so you can ask me a lot about the city that the other people can't ask. Okay, but I'll give you this: that you wouldn't walk right up to the Citadel without some good, like, real business. It's something that Devi knows now, but you kind of already knew. You could still play it as like, well, let's see what happens. Maybe you wouldn't have said anything anyways.
Well, I guess my like thought process is with you saying that is like, okay, you wouldn't want to go up unless it's like, really important business or something. I'm like, okay, we do have,
Right.
some kind of business,
Yeah.
but it's like, is it that dire or important to maybe them necessarily? I don't know. So I guess we'll wait and see and find out. So.
All right. So Luke and Asuna maybe are back a ways, and Devi and Tallulah are
Hello.
rushing headlong into fate. Yeah. What do you guys do? Does Tallulah actually? Howdy.
Hello. Is anyone here?
Any y'all home?
It's like after the things had like slammed down on me, I turned to her as she's yelling like, "Careful, be on guard. I don't like this."
She pulls out a rolling pin. She's ready to fight.
I pull out no weapons whatsoever.
No, of course not.
my weapons are my words.
Yes,
Yeah,
they're
I
very,
would-
very deadly weapons. Very deadly weapons.
After I say that to her, I was gonna yell out at the towards the wall as well and be like, "We are on official business. Is anyone there?"
Okay. After a couple minutes, nothing happens. You can see the statues are staring at you. They've turned their heads. They're not like talking or anything like that, but they are looking at you, and they still have the spears basically blocking the way. Yeah, after a couple minutes, there's no answer. Then the gate starts opening up. A big, heavy, and just a sliver of it opens up, and a man appears in robes.
Oh, good.
Because of the way the gate opens, he's like 10 feet away from you, because it's opening in, out from you into the area. And by the time it splits open enough for him to sneak, like you can see through there, it's like 10 feet or whatever away. He like stands where it just opens around him, basically, and that's all the gate opens, basically. Like, he looks like an older man in robes, and he calls out, "What business do you have?"
We have urgent news in the case of Rosamund Walleth. It's of dire importance and urgency.
It's
Okay,
urgent.
hold
I
on.
don't know if you caught that.
Hold on a second.
Urgent dude is most urgent.
This urgent news,
Urgent.
take your time on it. But this other news is urgently urgent. Who's that, you say? He calls back.
Rosamund Walleth.
I believe if you mention the counselor.
Are you close enough or not? You can't talk to him unless you're
You're
close.
right. You're right. I apologize.
I'm going to start getting... I love what you say, but you have to say it in activation range. Do you want to get closer now that the gate opened? You guys both watched the gate open and a man appear. Does this make you guys run, or do you get closer, or you just stand there still?
I don't think I want to get closer. How
I've
many
never-
feet would we say? How many feet would we say that I am behind him right now?
You're like 20 feet, 20 feet off to the side. No, because you came up at an angle, and that's where it is, and you're kind of like back, a little ways, let's say.
I'll stay there.
Okay, and Asuna, you're just sticking with Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah, safe, good, smart. Do you, Devi and Tallulah, do you know that you two are the only one there, or do you think they're about right behind you? Did you look back at all, or?
I looked back, and I
Okay.
kind of smiled, tried to offer like a look of comfort, I guess, to Asuna. Like, it's okay,
I've never seen four people so reluctantly do something. All right. So, Devi, what about you? Do you know that they're behind you?
I'd seen that they were there, but
Do I see Tallulah smile at Asuna?
I don't see
I
why
would
not.
assume so, unless you're paying attention to something else. You can probably roll for perception if you really want to. I would assume you did, though. You're kind
And I'll
of
just
focused.
mutter. I believe that woman would smile at a lamb going to the slaughter. So please continue.
we're here for Open Plume. Open Plume. Is there an open plume? It's hard to see. Are you reacting to me?
He's like, all right, very well, come in. And the gate, the statues immediately, the spears come up, and he's like, waves you in and turns around.
I'll turn and wave at the other two. Come on.
Or
not.
The killing's
Asuna, I'll
this
say,
way.
This
Sorry.
is not the greeting you get when the authorities are well disposed towards you, but I'll slink.
Are you not sauntering?
I am slinking.
Oh,
I have a
shit.
very good sauntering.
Oh, there's no. You did it,
Oh,
Devi.
boy.
Just
There's
the
a slouch to
saunter.
my shoulders.
You broke him.
If you could see the face of my
God.
tutors now with my posture, oh, they would have words.
Fantastic.
It's gonna be all emo bard music from here on out.
Yeah. All right. Asuna, you see Lucarian, the first time you've ever seen him slink towards something. You're a little bit in awe.
Yeah. That's the way to put it.
Do you follow him and how? What's your feeling? Can you put it into the game? Can tell me what you look like? What does Asuna look like, walking or standing right now?
I feel like if I get the vibe of like him kind of like doing the opposite of what I would expect, not like sauntering or whatever, I'm like, oh, like what's up with him? Like I'm sort of just like maybe a little bit more comfortable or confident, still maybe intimidated by where we are, but I'm a lot more familiar with it. So I guess I'm kind of more just like upright. So we're just like looking around, like, you know, a little less I guess like less sort of scared of the situation just because I'm more familiar with the area compared to the others.
I would imagine there's some curiosity because I don't think you've ever really
the curiosity, but also the curiosity, but also just there's that little bit of like, oh god, like what's gonna happen, like just a little bit back there, but generally just sort of just kind of a little more confident maybe than the others, a little more curious, but still in the back of my head like,
there's got to be some warning signs going off.
Yeah, there's gotta be something, but I don't know. We'll see. So
You'll be
that's
fine.
What I feel like
Sure,
where I'm at.
It'll
be
nothing's
fine.
ever bad's happened in Astralarum.
Never.
Only the disturbing go into their, extrajudicial prison holes and other planes.
Prison plane speed run.
Oh god.
So the gate is now open for, I'm assuming, Devi, you take the lead and you just confidently walk into the High Citadel.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere now. Yeah.
Finally.
I'm going to speak to my people, the guards.
Yeah, the guards.
The guard, actually, singular.
Yeah.
But he has robes, so she's a little weary. I was like, our guards don't normally have robes, but maybe, it's wizards. They're weird.
All right. Let's see what we got here.
Certain death.
And so basically right now everybody's all kind of grouped up together, or are we still slowly...
No, we reached the strength in numbers portion.
You all need to depend on each other now.
Yeah. That's fair.
All right. So he basically has already walked a ways ahead of you into kind of a smaller, nondescript building, not the tower. There's obviously, you're now in the area inside here. What you see is ahead of you, kind of raised up some, is the base of the huge astral tower, they call it. They have actually another name for it, but basically it's towering over you now that you're at the base of it. There's also a bunch of other like ancillary buildings that you can see, and then behind even that is a bunch of like scaffolding and such wrapping around the big astral obelisk, and you can see there are people up on the scaffolding investigating, looking at things on this huge monolithic dome of rock. So but this man doesn't lead you into the tower. He takes you into a smaller building off to the right. As he gets to it, he holds open the door and waits for you to enter.
As we walk, would it be possible to whisper to Devi?
Yes. This guy's 20 feet ahead of you already.
All right. I'm just going to say, now that we are well and truly committed, I would advise you to let Tallulah make our case.
Look who turned around.
Okay.
All right.
It's not turning around. As I said, you have to choose the most advantageous choices in any given situation. If it was raining, I'd choose to put on a hat. I have a companion willing to walk directly into hell.
Ice cold.
So
Ice cold.
please don't read my cooperation as condoning this affair. But I would like it to end well if it can.
So yeah, Jesus Christ, dive. Devi, yeah, you hear Lucarian plead with you to let Tallulah take the lead. What do you say and respond? Or do you say anything?
She thinks about it for a moment, and then she looks back at him and nods.
Thank you, gods, for small mercies.
Do you say that out loud?
He very much under his breath.
Okay. Devi, do you hear that? Did you hear that?
Do I know that they are?
It depends. You could, you definitely, if you're behind them, you definitely see Lucarian kind of peek into Devi's ear. If you were standing next to Devi first, so it could be the fact that you're on the other side of Devi. You know what I'm saying? Like Lucarian had to catch up to Devi. You're technically already there, so he could be on the other side of Devi if that's what you think it would happen.
Yeah, I think that's where she would have been.
You could roll for perception, I guess, to see if you heard at least the first part.
Yeah, I don't really care about the second part, but
Those old lady ears, did they hear?
What have your old lady ears heard?
Tell me what they've had. What are we at? 18? 19? 18?
18.
Yeah, you make out most of it. Definitely your name and the gist of what happened there.
Okay. I don't respond. I just carry on.
Okay.
So if she's nearby, Devi would probably turn to her as well and see if she heard. Like if we're all kind of clumped together and just like give her a nod as well.
So yeah, you don't know that Tallulah heard it, but you can turn to her and be like, nod still, you know? It's not an indication that you know that she heard it. You know?
Right. Yeah, I just kind of read her face.
Yeah, I'll like look back and nod and tap.
Roll my eyes.
Tap my nose.
Tap your nose.
Tallulah does not roll eyes. I do.
Okay. Wow. All right.
A lot. She would never roll her eyes at someone. That's cruel. It's rude.
The player is so different than the character. I love it. We're really going against type. All right. So she acknowledges that she heard what Lucarian said to you. You can still move on that Devi if you want before you get to the building.
Yeah, I know. Devi's not super worried about it, but she's just like kind of seeing that she heard it.
I'll reach my hand out like to try and get the letter. I mean, I'll reach my hand out and I guess I don't know if she would know what I'm doing, but she's like, "Oh yeah, the letter."
I think if that's all happening within seconds of each other, then yeah, I think that makes sense. I would just hand you the letter back.
Okay. And after maybe another minute or two, you make it into, the guy's holding basically the door open, and he tells you to walk in. He like motions for you to walk in. And you all do.
I kind of just like, I shuffle everyone towards the thing and I go in last.
Okay. There's basically a hallway with a number of doors. He opens one of the doors. The second one is basically the second one. It's like a hallway, not super big, not super long. There's maybe 3 doors on one side, 3 doors on the other side. The second one on the left, he walks through you guys and opens the door and he says, "All right, wait here and I will get someone to speak with you."
Thank you very much for your time.
And Devi walks in.
Yeah.
And everybody else walks in.
Yep.
I go return to sauntering now that I have something to make.
The guy's like, "Ooh, nice saunter."
Thank you.
All right. Devi walks in, Delila walks in, Lucarian saunters in. Asuna walks in. Are you still in amazement? Has it everything
Yeah,
you
I would
dreamed and
say
more?
so. Yeah, definitely. And I think I'm also like thinking like, oh, this guy said he's gonna get someone for us. So maybe going here was right. Maybe we'll actually, make some progress. But
I love it. I love that positive attitude. That's what we need. That's what we need. More in the world.
Welcome to your jail cell.
You all walk in, and the door closes behind you, and you hear it lock. Inside the room is one bed, one chair, and I think it's like a nightstand kind of table-y part in the other corner. There is a window that's pretty high set up in the back wall. Like as you walk in, there's like a window, like a stained glassy kind of window is what I'm imagining, with light coming through it. It looks very ornamental, like very pretty. It's like yellows and a little bit of green, a little bit of red. And it looks like basically, what's the word? It just looks like sunlight's kind of pouring in. And it has like a really nice glow coming through the other end. Other than that, the room is like, I want to say maybe 10 by 20 or maybe less than that, probably 8 by 12 or something like that, actually. The bed takes up one corner. There's a chair in the other corner. The nightstand mini table kind of area is in between the two. And that's it.
I would like to immediately go to the bed and lay down and
pushes Devi out of the way. Takes out the bed.
God.
Okay, you're laying down on the bed, Luke. Amazing. What's your facial expression? If everyone's looking at your face, what are you looking like?
One second.
Mm-hmm. Because there we go.
I'm going to say that he looks like he has indifference, but he looks a little anxious underneath it. His facial expression. He is trying to look cool. Well, not cool, like, trendy, but cool as in like cool tempered.
So cool. This guy shop at Hot Topic. He's so cool right now. Okay, yeah, you look at him, he just like comfortably takes into the bed, like he just like, yeah, no big deal, and lays down. It's not a big bed, so maybe somebody could sit at the foot of the bed around next to his feet, but it's not like it's not a big bed.
He does not leave much room.
I wouldn't imagine so.
I'm just gonna watch him do that, and then I'm gonna reach into my bag and like pull out a book, and then from the book I'm gonna pull out like what looks like two pieces of, well, I pull out a leaf, but it's not bendy or anything. It's been coated in wax, and it's kind of pressed between two pieces of like really thin, I don't imagine that we have wax paper, so I'm gonna say like thin parchment type paper.
Okay.
And I'm gonna walk over to Devi and hand it to her and say, I thought these leaves were so pretty, and I remember you talking about purple. So I made a little, it's not much, but it's a little thing to kind of preserve it so we can remember being here. And she hands it over. It should be safe. Just, maybe keep it in a book or something.
This is interesting for Devi. I think she's had some experience with people being kind to her, but maybe not like this, right? Like so quickly kind, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You tell me, Devi. I mean, like that's how I'm interpreting it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be strange, and so she's already looking. She's looking at her, and she feels those nice warm feelings a little bit that she's not used to at all. But then it's still just like it's very traumatic, and then she's reminded of Soraya and all the horrible stuff that she's gone on there, blah blah blah, and so she's not really given Tallulah probably what Tallulah would expect, and she's just kind of like stoic And
Well, we don't know what
And
she's
then-
expecting. Could be anything with you guys, but
Yeah,
let's just
but-
assume that you're like your face is just like unchanged.
yeah, and then she kind of turns away from her. She just thank you, and she's like puts it in her her bag.
You're welcome. And then I just kind of walk back over and lean against a wall.
Okay. There's like a corner by the door. I guess you could easily maneuver, kind of past the foot of the bed.
She just wanted to give it to her. There's no sign of like expectation or reaction. She just
You're not
gave it.
upset when she. I mean, what happens? What does Hulula look like or say when Device says thank you?
She just, a little smile, says you're welcome, and then walks
That's
back.
it. Got it. Okay. What about you, Asuda? What do you do in this cramped room?
Well, I was gonna sit on the edge of the bed, but then I don't want to disturb him. So, are there any other like chairs or anything?
There's
in
one
there?
chair
Is
that
it-
nobody's taken so far.
Well, I'm gonna take the chair,
Smart woman.
unless anybody else, wants
You
it,
can
then it's
probably
okay.
look at Devise, the only one that hasn't sat down or relaxed yet. So maybe you
Well, I don't
motion to the chair and.
She wants to, but I mean, but also, if she's sort of riled up a little bit, I don't know if that would help at all.
Yeah, Devise, you see Asuna kind of make her way towards the chair. You don't like musical chairs or like pull it out from behind her to. It's not enough for that point of the relationship yet.
Yeah, she just looks over. She's like, "I'm okay." She's just standing with her back towards the wall, looking towards the door.
You're standing the whole time?
Yeah, she's standing the whole time. When she goes up to the back wall, it's the waiting game now. We wait to speak to them.
Okay.
And so she's at least standing for an hour. If it goes longer than an hour, then she might move around.
It's only been a minute or two.
Okay.
Just stand down.
Oh, that's good.
7 years.
Yeah.
10 years later, still standing.
15 years.
15 years.
Astralarum. If it's going to be a little while, like you said, it's been a minute, but if it does go on for a little while, Lucarian will take out his lute and start strumming it.
Okay. We'll see how it goes. Right now, like I said, it's only been a minute or two. Nobody expresses anything to anybody else as soon as you get put in the small room?
No.
Not
Just
initially. I mean, it's only been like a
Resigned.
minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll
I will
see.
happily look at askance at my companions for having led us to this situation, but I feel like that's already been communicated. So
Why kick a dead horse?
I didn't hear that at all.
Would Divine know from her history of being as a guard that this is like just the worst sign that they already think that they're completely guilty and they're throwing them in jail? Or would they know that sometimes you just kind of like, you could question people who are suspects and, but you just would want to be safe at the same time, even if you're not like throwing them in jail or whatever?
It's not the right roll, but roll for history. And I'm going to manipulate that based on, I know your past and what you're used to. Just give me that for something to start with.
Gotcha.
It's not don't worry about a good or bad roll that much. It's more of like the coding on this. Let me put it that way.
Did that one go through?
Yeah, I got something. Wait, was it history? Yeah. There we go. So 12.
My first roll.
Yay!
Hey, average.
That's good. That's good in this game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Basically that it's not completely bad news, but you are worried because this city is unlike anything. Everything seems to be upside down to you in this city. In and of itself, it's not bad. You still have some hope that somebody's going to talk to you, and you would also already know, being a guard, you would never group everybody together at the same time anyways if you're going to put them away for a long period of time. So there's something up with that. But this is not a city. You're not even used to a city this big.
Right.
Much less a highly magical city like this. You don't know what they're like. The statues threw you off. This whole situation has been obviously unnerving, not how you would have handled it in the Quell. So it's just a whole new experience. So you do have a considerable amount of doubt that things are safe, but your gut tells you, well, there are some signs that this is potentially going to go our way.
Right.
Yeah,
But it
maybe.
could go, absolutely could go either way because the town's so upside down.
Exactly. Yeah.
And huge that makes
Right.
sense. A lot of unknown mixed in.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Okay. So that is intermission. So we're going to take 10 minutes, take a little break, think about what we did to get to this point, reflect a little bit, and then we'll come back and reap what we've sown. How about that? We are back. It has been 7 years in this room.
You really gotta pee.
The bed is filthy now. Just straight up filthy. Now, it sometimes does pass, though. However, while you're in this room, it takes definitely enough time that Lucarian idly pulls out his instrument and plays a little something to, I don't know about calming their nerves, but what kind of music are you playing?
Just probably a little tune, like, I'm as liberated as an eagle now.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That sounds sad.
No, I love the song. And what was that next line?
The next line is
I love this part.
and this eagle you cannot change.
All right, any more, and we're going to get into copyright territory. So,
Even with my clever word substitution.
they're very strict on that nowadays. But
If there are any more, we're gonna have to go to karaoke and do a karaoke stream. I don't advise it.
No, well, actually, that's where this was headed the whole time. Everybody doing.
Well, I'm out.
Yeah. It's the end of that, right?
But just to answer your question, probably something like I don't know, classical gas or something.
Nice. Okay. Not actually a classical music, but classical gas.
No, yeah, like like some like a little ditty.
A little ditty. I love it. Okay. I would assume that's maybe like a little too jaunty for maybe the situation. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, if that's annoying or calming. Tallulah, how do you feel about?
They can't tell. I'm just kind of like leaning against the wall, looking downward with a very kind of blank, somewhat serious expression.
Mm-hmm. That seems like it's manufactured, like you were trying to make sure you don't have too much outward emotion, or you don't have any.
I'm deep in thought.
Got it. All right. Soon are you rocking out to Luke's
I feel
awesome
like
jams?
any kind of music in such a small space would annoy me, but I wouldn't show it. So
just magic his ass. Fucking, let's get this started. It's all an experiment to see when you guys will break and tear each other apart. Devi was in on it from the beginning. She knows. She's she's the control. Everybody else
I wanted to
is.
start the chaos. So
Yeah.
the violence.
All right. So it is about 3 hours before anything happens.
That's a lot of
Well, I'll
cops,
sit
yeah.
down on the bed at some point.
You push his legs over or what?
I kind of pat on like scooch.
Do you scooch?
Yes, but like
Oh.
not immediately. Like not like right
Is
away.
it reluctance?
Not reluctance, like not like reluctance is I'm not unwilling. I'm willing to move, but I wanted to know, like, convey that it is something I'm doing as a courtesy, you know. So there's just that slight delay, like, then move my legs.
She could crush him with her
Oh,
body.
many people could.
Many have tried, all have failed.
Just run, leaping body slam.
He'll saunter out of the way with ease. He's practiced saunter. So
But
yeah,
perhaps his playing will turn a little less jaunty into a little bit more like relaxed
Contemplative?
music. Yeah,
Okay.
contemplative, relaxed.
yeah. Nice. Okay, so yes, about 3 hours pass. I'm assuming that everybody's just kind of keeping to themselves. We're not really sharing our feelings.
Nope.
Excellent. Wow.
Some of us seem to be the bottle them up until they explode
Yes.
variety. So,
Yes. Tried and true method. Okay. After about 3 hours, you do hear somebody at the door. In all that time, it felt like 5 minutes to some of you, and like 5 hours to others of you. It's really hard to tell how long you've really been in there. Even 3 hours is probably not exactly it, but that's the gist of it. Some of you have feeling maybe perhaps anxious. Some of you are calmer about it. So you're all envisioning that the time you spend in there is different. You can't really tell because the sunlight outside the window has not changed in all that time. It's still the same brightness.
we hear like the door opening. We hear someone coming.
At a moment, yeah, you start hearing the lock being unlocked.
Since I've been playing kind of cool, collected, like study music on my lute, would I?
Lo-fi beats. You're
Yeah,
playing
lo-fi beats.
Okay.
Lo-fi beats to get yourselves out of a jam too.
Get yourself out of magical prison with these
Get
cool.
yourself out of legal practice too. Can I, since I've been playing this, can I give Tallulah bardic inspiration?
Sure, you can give Tallulah bardic inspiration. This will come helpful for your next batch of muffins you're going to need to bake to get out of this.
All right, then I think beyond that, my most helpful contribution might be to keep my mouth shut.
He's a man that's aware of himself. The self-awareness is.
Is he gonna keep playing when they walk in?
He's not self-aware at all. He's just aware of how other people are reacting baselessly to him. So
incorrectly to his high upbringing and
his charm, really.
His charm. They're obviously getting the wrong opinion of it.
And to answer Tallulah's question, he will not keep playing, but he won't like come to an abrupt stop. He will play to the natural ending of the song instead of looping back around. He will do it away then.
A performer to the end.
Exactly.
The very bitter end. We all remember him playing that last phrase to the very end before he was killed. The door opens.
His heart out into that last chord.
Certainly, the very last chord. Yes, the door opens and the music stops almost perfectly in time with the door opening. Everybody looks to it, and a dwarven man stands there. He's like, "All right, my name's Worrell. I'm here to take you to Merrick. Come with me." And the door is open, unlocked, and he's out of sight already. He moved basically, you could see him go further down the hallway. Like you came up one way, stopped. He like went around the door and kept going that way, out of sight almost instantly.
I get up and follow quickly.
How do you spell this gentleman's name?
Worrell is, first of all, I want you to guess how to spell Worrell.
Warrel.
Not at all.
WHORL.
It's whirl, basically. Whirl is what I'm saying.
Oh, WHIRREL.
Nope.
WIRL.
Nope. It is Z. You want to Z? Let's hear your. I'll give anybody extra experience points if you can guess how I spelled this guy. Whirl. Dive with the silent PG. Whirl. Whirl. Pterodactyl.
Pierogi roll.
It is actually. Right. It is WURAL. Whirl. Whirl.
Is this close to guessing that?
The PG was I was going to go for that, but I was like, who's going to guess it? Squirrel. Yes, his name's Whirl. Swirl.
Sure.
He works at an ice cream shop. Astralarum ice cream. And more.
Yeah, some more PGOIRL is scribbled out in his notes. Seriously.
Yeah.
So we follow. I quickly follow after.
Did you stand for 3 hours?
I told you for an hour, and then everything.
And then what happened?
And then I sat for 5 minutes and stood for another hour.
You took a break. You took a quick break. Good. Excellent.
She's limber. She's ready to go.
Yeah, you got to stay at attention. You never know.
Yeah, I imagine she sat down after.
What crazy named guy is going to pop through the door? All right. So you took it, stood for an hour, sat down for 5 minutes, stood for another hour, 5 minutes. It was like basically a good regiment of.
No, I imagine she's probably sitting down.
Okay.
When the guy came in.
Okay. But you hop to your feet pretty quickly. And everybody basically follows after him, correct?
Yeah, I think we're all pretty eager to get out of the room.
How do you spell that? I'm on to you now, Guillam. Third episode? I'm honed in. God damn. All
Why
right.
are you like this?
Goodness.
Because if you were the person in the room who finds your jokes the most hilarious, life never stops being funny. So.
You got to play to your audience. So.
Yourself.
But yes, Gia, we are eager to get out of the room.
Okay. Excellent. So everybody steps to it. I'm assuming Devi, since she was ready to go first, she just hops up really fastly, boom, right behind Whirl.
I'm
Yes.
right behind her.
Yeah. I'm thinking then like maybe Luke and Asuna kind of.
I languidly rise from the bed like a cat rising from its slumber and
Ooh, big
saunter
stretch.
after them. Mm-hmm, big stretch.
There's nobody in the room. He's just doing it for himself. He's like, yes, this is my time. Time for me to shine.
Door closes and locks while he's doing it.
It's locked in there. Oh, I'll just get the next round. No big deal. Yeah, everybody goes back out into the hallway, and basically it goes down all the way to the other end. There's another door, and Whirl's already, he's not waiting for you. He's going through the other door, leaves it open, but doesn't wait for you. There's a bunch of like hallways and corridors, other little things inside this building. Eventually you got some stairs that go down, and you eventually leads you up into another door. This one he stops at and waits for you all to catch up. After you guys all do, you wait for him to speak, and instead he opens the door. He's like, all right, get in there. You look in there, Devi, and there is, it's maybe like a 10 by 10 room. There's a big table in it. There's 4 chairs on your side and a man sitting at the other side of the table, waiting for you with a nonplussed look on his face, just very calm.
So I kind of, I motion everyone to into the room.
Okay.
We hold hands and twirl.
Very, very nice.
No, we don't.
No, I don't think so. Assuming everybody goes in. All right, everybody goes in, and the man stands up for a moment, motions towards the chairs that are on your side of the table.
I have a
I imagine I wait for them to all take a seat, and then I take a seat as well.
As you're sitting down, the door closes behind you. Looks like Whirl is off. It's just you and this man. As you sit down, he sits down. He's probably he's a human. He's about in his 40s, got a little bit of gray. He looks like he has seen some things. He's very, very experienced and confident in his movement and his demeanor. It doesn't belie any sort of, there's not really a lot of emotion that you can read from his face, though. He doesn't look concerned or whatever. He's just like very almost not, I wouldn't say businesslike, is like maybe a little bit too strong, but very like to the point when he's talking. If I don't project that, that's kind of what you guys are getting out of it. And he says,
"Unsympathetic face of authority. How I've missed it."
Did he say that out loud?
No,
he's gonna.
Okay.
You're gonna pretty
Swear
soon.
to God.
Try to either play that into the game, or I'm going to make you say it out loud, which will be excellent. Which will be excellent in the future. The man waits for you to sit down. He sits back down. He looks at his papers. He's got a bunch of sheets of paper kind of laid out in front of him. And he speaks to you. He goes, "Good afternoon. My name is Merrick McClare, and I am the Theurgist investigating Rosamund Wallace's case on behalf of the Arcane Council." He pulls out like some of his...
What was his name?
Merrick McClare. This one I'm just going to tell you how to spell it. MERRIC MACLAIR. Like so. MERRIC MAC. Oh, there's an L in there. McClare, actually. So it's MACLAIR. McClare. And he said,
92% right.
yeah, sure you were. With the incorrect spelling or the correct spelling?
With the correct spelling.
Okay.
I did a K at the end and then Claire, CLARE. So.
All right. It's easy to forget the silent PG. And he's a Theurgist, he said so. My name is Merrick McClare. I'm a Theurgist investigating Rosamund Wallace on behalf of the Arcane Council. He's like looking through some of his notes. He's like not super like waiting for a response. He goes, "I believe you four were the last to see Mrs. Wallace, yes?
Yes, sir, correct.
And you all spoke with Mr. Abel DeMark of Northern Gemstones and more, both before and after what happened to Mrs. Wallace?"
Yep, we did.
Only 2 of us were present to see her before she disappeared.
Mm-hmm. He like just kind of goes, that's basically all he does. I was able to meet with our mutual acquaintance, Mr. Abel DeMark, last night. At first, he said he was sick of visitors, but after I told the terrified man my name and business, he eventually calmed down and recounted to me the tales of the past few weeks, culminating in the events that took place yesterday, which I believe you all know. So far, I have not been able to verify nor deny Mr. DeMark's claims that he is innocent regarding Mrs. Wallace. However, due to his sterling reputation in the Hilltop community for so many years, he has been placed on house arrest until the facts of the situation can be brought to light. It was a sentence he seemed to greatly appreciate. However, during the course of the inquiry, I quickly learned that Mr. DeMark was under the impression that the 4 wanderers he had hired to deliver the fated necklace had been deputized by the Arcane Council to investigate upon their behalf. He was rather interested to learn that this, in fact, was not the case. He then proceeded to tell me in detail the events of what occurred when you 4 returned to his jewelry shop yesterday and the occurrences that followed. Puts down the notes he's looking at, and he goes, as it stands now, the 4 of you are under suspicion for Mrs. Rosamund Wallace's mysterious disappearance and or death. However, since that time, you've accrued a number of additional charges, some quite serious, including but not limited to impersonating a representative of the Arcane Council, interfering with an ongoing investigation, threatening a potential suspect and or person of interest, theft and tempering of evidence, and a few other crimes we don't need to mention at this time. But I don't have to tell you, this does make you highly suspicious in the eyes of the council.
Did they, since I wasn't there and didn't finish the whole thing, did they actually say they were part of the council, or?
We did say we were, they asked us to come to talk to the able DeMark. So I don't know if we said we were like.
Sir, I asked you for a synopsis. That would have been helpful to know and might have changed my argument, but whatever. It's fine. It's great.
It's, I may not have remembered.
A lot of things were said, if you think about it. He is, you can ask me questions, but he's still talking, so it's not like there's time for you to interject. Are you ready to continue on? Or do you want to complain?
There was a theft? What's the theft?
We took the little trinkets to examine, try to figure out what the magic was. But it wasn't a theft. I mean, he gave it to us, but we can hash this out. It'll be fine.
Look how confident. I love the confidence.
Well, I didn't get us into this room, so I'm pretty pumped to just sip my coffee smugly. But
Lucarian, professional finger pointer. He continues.
Look, I made the bed. I didn't choose to lie in it. So.
Now, of course, Penty is on point. Okay. Merrick continues. I've spoken with Officer Bigglesby, who seems to vouch for your reputations. On his word and with Mr. DeMark's blessing, I'm going to request the council postpone your trial regarding your crimes at Northern Gemstones and more. Your sentence in that matter relies heavily upon uncovering the truth of what happened to Mrs. Wallace. In any event, you will be not expected to go free, but your punishments could be greatly reduced in light of a favorable outcome. Most importantly, however, is that until Miss Rosamund Wallace is found unharmed, you are the prime suspects and or willing accomplices in her disappearance and potential murder. Crimes that garner a considerable dev time in the oubliette, as you might imagine. In the meantime, I will be investigating the matter with the benefit of the Arcane Council's power to look into this matter as thoroughly as possible. But for you, you have 2 options. You can await your trial in the oubliette, which will commence after we can successfully locate Mrs. Wallace, or a period of 1 month has passed. Before then, you will be given an opportunity to hire your own inquisitor, should you wish, or one will be appointed to you at the time of your trial. If Mrs. Wallace is found alive and testifies that exonerates you and or Mr. DeMark, you will have those charges cleared. Should Mrs. Wallace be found but testifies you have done her ill, or should she be found perished or not at all, and further investigation does not clear your names, you will be sentenced for your crimes in addition to the other crimes mentioned earlier. The other option is this. Since you are members of the Wanderers Guild who have been vouched for by Officer Bigglesby, you may be allowed to briefly and narrowly assist the Arcane Council in locating and returning Mrs. Wallace back to Astralarum to speak on your behalf. Due to laws regarding the expediency of court cases, you must do this in less than 4 weeks. You would report to me and do nothing, and he looks at all of you with a pause, nothing that would further endanger civilians. Understood? And he looks for a nod. And he goes, which option do you prefer?
The second.
Agreed. So normally it is implied that you should not even consider failing or betraying the council's trust in you by fleeing or otherwise making matters worse. But in this case, I believe I will have to make it clear. Do not fail or betray the council's trust in you. He looks at you again, making sure you all understand. While returning empty-handed to the city will not clear your names. Returning empty-handed to the council will not clear your names. It will be taken into consideration when deliberating any potential punishments. Next, I will be taking and he's like kind of looking through his notes. Yes, the box of silver scraps you took illegally, as they are evidence. If you like, I can have one of the custodians fetch them, or unless one of you have them handy.
I have them, but my camera died, so I'm trying to figure that out right now.
You can still act on that. What do you prefer?
So he wants them. I'll just give them to him because I mean,
Okay, so
seems like we're in deep shit at this point.
she broke her camera so you wouldn't have to see how screwed her face. What? So you wrestle through your bag and you pull out the box that's wrapped up kind of in this, fabric to hold everything in, and you hand it over with like a clang. It's like it's a little, you can hear it like jangling. He takes it slowly and puts it off to the side of things. It's like, excellent. Now then, on to the facts you'll need to know. Although the name Wallace has turned up a manor house in the village of Medell, so far there have been no response to our summons. However, I've uncovered two important pieces of information so far that might help you. Firstly, I have deduced that there was teleportation magic used in the room of the Brideville pet, but it is unclear whether it was used nefariously or not. Secondly, Rosamund left behind no belongings except for a small stack of dishes which Archmage Plume attests were served to her in her room. He also mentioned that the woman hardly if ever left the inn while he was there. Surprisingly, the only physical clues I have uncovered were a number of crumpled pieces of parchment, all of which had written on them variations of the same thing. And he shows the letter, which I am going to show you in a second. Looking something like this.
Ooh, yikes.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I tried, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I just look very sad.
He doesn't give it to you. It's like slid, let's say, on the table or whatever. So far, that is all I have found, but I will continue to uncover all that I can to bring the truth to the Arcane Council, whether you are involved or not. You are, for the time being, free to locate Mrs. Wallace for your own defense, but let me make this clear, you are not in any way representatives of the Arcane Council. Do you have any questions?
Yes. Well, first, some information for you. The first being that
he is like immediately writing down, he's got a fresh piece of paper and he's like writing down everything you're saying, like he's not looking, he's writing down.
We realized we handled the situation poorly yesterday, and we definitely did commit some crimes, and so we decided it was best to come here to take accountability.
I like the fact that Guillam had a cup in his hand when he was like, what? I wish there was a cup. I wish there was a cup in real, like in the game. Like, sorry.
We know that we behaved poorly, and we're willing to accept any consequences for that. With that in mind, we received a letter, very strange, and while we did briefly consider investigating it, we knew that we made mistakes yesterday, so we decided to bring that to you. And she hands it over.
Okay. You put it maybe on the table or whatever.
Yeah.
So he kind of spins it around and looks at it, and he ends up, he doesn't He's like, looks at it, reads it, and then spins it back around and puts it back to you. And he goes, interesting. And he like writes down, he's like writing down notes for a couple moments, like kind of, you can't read what he's like, not, or whatever. He's just like,
Yeah.
He goes, very interesting. Anything else?
Well, we understand that that the temples are prohibited. Would we be permitted to try and rendezvous with this individual tonight at 11:30?
Since you are not representatives of the Arcane Council, you will have no leniency in trespassing. However, if I were not to know, and the Arcane Council was not to know of your actions, not to find out what you did, that could be an option for you. Getting caught by anybody would inflict the normal punishment for such a thing.
She smiles. Okay. I don't know if this is in character. Where did he say that the Wallif house was?
Yes, he said the village of Medell.
Are we permitted to leave the city to investigate that?
He said, you're asking him, hey, is it okay? Yes, you're free to come and go in Astralarum as you wish, biding the fact that you keep in mind the terms of our arrangement.
Mm-hmm. And the teleportation magic in the room, I don't really know enough about that kind of magic, but was it learned that is there a way to tell if it came from perhaps the jewelry she was given, or is there another way she could have done that?
It seems to be that it was the necklace that did it.
Okay. I guess I'll look at everybody else. Can you think of anything else we need to ask?
Not without an Inquisitor present, I imagine.
Your own Inquisitor is what you mean?
Of course. I know not to speak without a lawyer around.
I expect everyone else has been persuaded by that.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. So the information we have is that nobody answered in the village, at the Wallith home in the village. Teleportation magic was used from the necklace. She left no belongings, just those letters. Dirty dishes. Was there something else? I think there was a lot. Anything else notable? I guess she'll ask him, is there anything else we might need to know, or any perhaps direction you think we might take?
I do not have the time or resources to help you any more than I already have. If you do feel as though at any point you wish to stop your inquiry, just return here and we will accommodate you until your trial.
Sorry. Accommodate. If we needed to reach you for some reason, will we just return to this building? Or is there an easier way?
Yeah, you can send me a letter through the Messengers Guild.
Okay. Well, I think that's all for now, and I'll tell you, I appreciate your leniency. I understand that crimes are taken very seriously here, and allowing us to help come to the truth, we're grateful. She kind of looks at Luke. We're grateful.
Oh, yes.
The Theurgist McClare says, be sure and thank Officer Bigglesby for his recommendation on your behalf. And keep in mind that even finding Rosamund alive and vouching in your defense, you will still have to account for the other crimes you've committed against the Arcane Council.
Is there anything perhaps we can do to remedy that situation?
That will have to be determined after this deal with Mrs. Wallace has been resolved. If it is not, then it will probably be the council's ruling that your punishment be lumped together.
Any idea what the sentence length might be?
Of murder?
Oh, no, the other charges, not murder.
Other charges? Did you murder? Are you looking for another escape route?
Murderer says what?
Eric's like, what? Oh, shit, twist?
So assuming we did do it, what would we be looking at?
What's the food like in this joint?
And
What
what
are your
happens if we?
extradition treaties?
What are your turning on our fellow member discounts?
Let's see. Theft is... You're probably not at the higher end of this, but for humans, it's between 6 months and 10 years. You're probably in the middle of that for humans.
I mean, he did give us permission, but we did ask.
That's right. There was also fraud,
But I'm not saying
which
that's
is another
again.
between
I'm gonna
1
be-
month
I'm
and
gonna be
25
making
years.
Wait,
this
humans?
argument to the magistrate.
Is it based on life expectancy?
It is.
Yeah.
A percentage of home.
So I'd be there longer. The innocent one would be there the longest. Thanks, guys.
Silence is tacit approval, my friend.
You didn't say this out loud. Stop it.
Silence and violence.
Yeah, there's maybe not perjury. There's definitely some of these other ones. There's a list here, and I'm like, yeah, that one. But you didn't do torture. Well, no, you did torture him. Oh, okay, that's another. Let's see, 10 years. You got a lot.
We didn't all do most of those things.
You can turn on each other later at the trial.
I would never. Well, thank you so much. I get the idea, the general gist of it. I think we all do. If none of you have any questions, we'll get to investigating.
Almost said leaving.
Get to getting on a boat to another continent. See you fucking later.
It's like, I'll have a bathroom in here. Okay, so yeah, this is a very lovely room you have. Bye. Nobody else has any other questions or anything for the Theurgist? Okay. Tallulah stands up, and as Tallulah stands up, everybody else stands up, including Theurgist McClare. He's like, I hope the gods are on your side. And he calls out to Worrell, Worrell, please open the door. And the door opens, and the dwarf is on the other side. He's like, all right, I'll walk out. It was more of like a
He
good
actually
luck.
said
It's like a good luck thing.
but
You don't say, may God help you or whatever, but it's more like hopefully the gods are looking out for you. And whatever
so
happens
then
to
out
you.
of character, I shouldn't be like this man in anti-God land said God.
No.
Okay.
And that's a good point. That's a really good point. It's not like they don't say any of that stuff. It's more of like a tangible thing. They know that there are gods, They know that people even believe that stuff, but they're like, leave it at the door, basically.
Okay.
The gate.
Colloquial Jesus Christ, not a prayerful Jesus Christ.
More of you're going to need all the help you can get, even in this godforsaken magical city, so you might as well. But yeah, no, it wasn't like an atheistic kind of thing or whatever, or like even an antagonistic kind of thing. So no, people
sneaky criminal man kind of thing.
No, not at all. It's actually, if anything, it's like endearing, I guess, or like he's not worried about it or anything like that. It's like almost accommodating in a way. That's a good point.
I'm very suspicious of people in this city.
Bees is, I don't know.
Yes, I am. No, I am. He's not. I
Yeah.
very much am.
Yes. Okay.
Well, she'll say like a nice thing back. I don't know. You too.
Okay. Yeah.
Give a warm smile, whatever, and then she'll run away.
Just fucking books.
I apologize. If we were interested in hiring our own Inquisitor, how would we go about that?
Certainly, you can find some. Actually, let me double check where that would be. On Hilltop. There are quite a few. There are a few in the Keen Mind, on the other side of the marketplace. If you like, Worrell can give you a recommendation.
That would be most wonderful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great, thanks, bye.
See ya. All right, so you all step out and leave the Theurgist in the room. Go back out the hallway. Worrell closes the door and he's like, all right, follow me. And he goes back basically the way you guys all came. Back up through all the hallways, back up the stairs, around a bunch of other halls and stuff. And then basically back through the 6 doors, back out through, and you're back outside. At this point, he doesn't take you all the way to the main gates. He opens the door and he says, here's Merrick says you might be wanting the name of a Inquisitor.
Yes, please.
And he gives you like a piece of paper basically from his robes. It just seems like he already had it. Just kind of pulls it out and gives it to you.
Thank you.
It has basically.
He's out at earshot. I'm going to say we're absolutely not going to this person.
This is the guy. This is the recommendation of who we don't visit. Okay. He stands there and he points basically to the huge gates, which are now slowly opening towards you. This is, again, it's still a way out. It's not like right next to you. So you've got some time to walk back to the gates if you like. He is watching you, though.
Yeah. If anybody tries to wander, I'm going to shepherd them. Nope.
This is not the sightseeing tour. Get back on track.
Well, I will saunter towards the exit.
He's back to sauntering, everybody.
You got to keep an impression up. That's all.
All right.
It's called poise, you know.
Yes, that's what I think of when I think of Lucarian. Poise.
There's definitely poise there.
Devi is
Posturing,
not
it's different.
What does Devi look like as she makes her way outside of the oubliette?
Absolutely overwhelmed and very frustrated.
Almost like dragging your feet, staggering on your way out.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But trying to, not raise suspicion.
Show too much. Okay, so just a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
What did we learn?
So you guys make your way. Let's. As you guys get outside the gate, I'm assuming we don't sightsee. You go outside the gate, past the statues. The gate closes behind you, and Lucarian turns and says, "What did you learn?"
We learned all of the charges already pending against us and avoided another one.
Devi, is that what you learned?
Is this what I've done to others to uphold some sort of vague justice against those who have done nothing wrong? This town.
Forget it, Devi. It's Astralarum.
You got us into this mess. Even why? What was the thievery? What has happened?
Devi,
why was the lying about being part of the investigation?
Devi, it's not about it's not about whether or not we can make crimes. It's whether or not people find out about them.
Jesus Christ.
And they did.
I kind of reach my hand out and put it on his shoulder. You're a terrible criminal. They know about every part of it. Every part. And that's what we needed to know.
It's
I
fine.
I
We're
appreciate
gonna go-
your initiative, but
You're
I
a
think
terrible criminal.
We'll
I
find this Lady Wallace, and we'll go to the magister and say, "Oh, we were just so eager to find her. We acted under, we were so enthusiastic. We were so worried about her safety. We thought he may have tricked us into harming her somehow. That's why we were so overzealous. We intended to give the stolen spell materials over to someone who could investigate them, which is true. We'll be fine."
we'll be committing no more crimes.
Well, I mean, you did notice he did say he could have his cake and eat it too. We can go do this rendezvous in the temple, but if we get caught, we're trespassing. You understand? The authority gave us all the risk to assume, and subtly encouraged we should assume it.
Sir, you are a criminal. You have implicated us in your crimes. We have to go. We have to free our names of this crime we've not committed. But in the midst of that, you have committed real crimes.
Devai, you weren't hardly holding a hand on my shoulder, pulling me back. I do believe it was I who prevented you from harming Able to march further.
Because we thought that he was the one that...
Hold on. She kind of just like puts a hand in. This isn't helping. Whether or not one of us committed the crime or all of us, we all were present, we all saw, we all were aware, and we're all implicated.
We were
So,
not
the question
aware.
is-
I was not aware that he was impersonating the arcane council, that he was stealing
It's true. She was
while
outside.
I was keeping watch.
She was in the room with when we asked for the materials.
Yeah, but as far as the impersonation part, she was still outside.
Yeah.
What about threatening Abel?
Oh, she was 100% there for that.
I mean, staring a guy down is not actually illegal, though.
Well, you came in though. and were
Intimidation.
Very much willing
It's
to
not-
drag him
that's-
out, and asked if we were going to get him. Like we were part and parcel, my friend.
However we feel about this, I don't think we have a choice. Well, we have a choice to flee this continent forever and never be able to return and potentially be hunted down.
Always
Or
a valid
to-
option.
What is the point of fleeing
Cooperate
when one
with-
of us is a criminal that is going to continue to commit crimes?
I'm going to clap my hands together and yell. Just, that's enough!
Is it pretty loud? Like you're like really
Yeah,
crying?
it's like,
Okay. There's people walking by, noticing like a heated argument, and then you clap, and they're just like some of these people just stop. They're like the horse like "Rrr," like what's going on? And then after a second, everybody's like they walk, keep going. That lady means business. That grandma means business.
if you want to write in your diaries about who's to blame and who we're angry at, go ahead. But now we have to figure this out. Even if it's not just for ourselves, this poor woman could be suffering somewhere, and we might be able to help that, and that should be important to you.
It absolutely is important, but he has to stop committing crimes.
It's true. It's very true. We can't. There are smarter and better ways to do this, and I know you know that.
Sure. I really feel that the question at hand is.
Can I use a persuasion? Because I feel like Guillam's just being difficult because he likes how mad I get.
No, not at all. Not at all.
He's played it this way the whole time, so it's not. I don't feel like it's out of character for him to revel in this.
I do feel that Devai, if you feel that legal grounds are a boundary you wish not to cross, you might want to consider a different profession, knowing the task adventurers can often be hired for. But I think rather than debating whether or not our moral qualms over what come to pass, we have to decide whether we're going to the temple or not tonight. So far as I see it, it's our only lead.
The temple?
I don't think we should discuss this here.
All right.
She looks at the statues because there's certainly some nearby.
Yeah, you guys are not clear of earshot of those statues.
Might be better to return to the guild house.
I mean, not to mention the constant influx of people on the big avenue.
Well, let us away then.
Okay.
All right, then you guys make your way back to the Wanderers Guild again, back the way you came. After about half an hour, 40 or so minutes, not only are you guys tired from walking, you are hungry from not eating all day. The sun is beginning to get lower in the sky. And you make your way back outside to the Wanderers Guild House. Again, looks like that. You walk in, and it's Bergam. Bergam is behind the counter. At first, he's excited. His eyes light up, and then he's like, more shocked. How's it going?
Great. Did the messenger come by already?
The morning one came, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You look surprised.
Let's just say the four of you have gained some notoriety around the Wanderers Guild, and I'm just surprised to see you make it back from the High Citadel. That's where you were, right?
Yes.
Sarah told me you might head that way.
Well,
So
I think they know we're innocent, so we're gonna do the best we can to really prove it.
Oh, it hasn't been cleared. It hasn't been cleared up, this whole mess.
No, I don't believe it will until we find the missing woman.
Hmm.
Until she's found.
Still not found yet, huh?
No.
He turns to look at her and says, "Because he killed her.
Yep, you got me.
Let me know when you want that escape tunnel.
I will, don't worry.
Here, just got to get a reservation. Let me get the reservation book for this.
Oh, we're booked solid. And
Sorry, we're escaping people all month long.
Is breakfast provided when we escape?
Yeah. Just as soon as you get into the escape tunnel, you're not really using any of the meal vouchers anymore. No, but he's like, but they let you go, even though she's still disappeared.
Yes, we've been offered the opportunity to try and find evidence of what happened and find her to clear our names rather than keeping us there. Does that seem like a unusual thing to you?
He thinks about it and he goes, well, sometimes people are offered a chance to clear their names. I can't say it happens very often in cases like yours, but I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
And I like turn to everybody like, well, that's optimistic. We could have
You are a hard grandmother.
Granny.
But I believe there was a discussion we wanted to have. Bergam, may we borrow a room?
Yeah, sure. Let me go open that room that we were in earlier yesterday. So he walks around, goes down the hall, he mentions you down. You guys basically end up in that room where you talk to him. It's basically like a little meeting room.
Did they investigate that room for privacy or like magic snooping spells?
Did your fellow players, characters? Not at all.
Okay.
So that means you didn't either. But yes.
Well, yeah, that was the question.
Yeah,
okay.
Nobody did.
I'll follow along.
I love the distance between like player and character this episode. So good. So tasty. excited characters, miserable players. That's how I like to play. That's how I like to play my games. All right. Yeah, you guys make it in the room. He closes you. He closes the door. He's like, "You want me to close this?"
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. I'm going to close the door. And he closes the door. You're in the room. You guys were in yesterday.
Tallulah is going to kind of walk around and see if anything seems weird. Peepholes. I don't know. I'm not trying to think.
Like
she
a
doesn't
painting
do.
with the eyes out
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yep.
That's not suspicious, anyways. Yeah. That's investigation. I'm gonna say.
Mhm. Nice.
Ooh.
She's not good at it.
She tried, and is that negative one to investigation?
And it's real obvious what she's doing if anybody's paying attention.
It's like her hands are on the walls. She's like, "Can you hear me in there? Hello?"
Since it is obvious, can I also roll investigation?
No, you can. I mean, you can, but then I just do the median of the rolls, so she's going to bring you down anyways.
Well, I mean,
Unless you
I
roll
know
worse.
that the party's going to bring me down anyways, but I'll roll the...
Did I open that door for you? Where's that?
As a player, I'm sorry, that was a little
setting you
too
up like that.
Yeah, but
Ouch. All right. Yes.
I hope you enjoy that. Never mind.
So, was that 19 divided by 2? Yeah, so, yeah, you don't notice anything either. Nothing out of the ordinary.
I'm going to look at Asuna. Are there, like, magical things that could be listening to us in here?
Is that a thing here? That's my actual question. Is
In
that
real
actually a
life?
thing? Yes.
You might have, yes, well, yes, those are things that can happen in the world of magic. Yes. Obviously,
would
there are
I-
non-magical ways of doing that too. Would you know, not off the top of your head, like you don't walk into a room and know if you're being listened to magically or otherwise?
Okay. There's a
I don't know.
possibility, but I wouldn't know.
Can she do an arcana?
Right. So you could do a roll to see, like we kind of did with the box of silver.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that. You also might have a spell. I don't know what spells you have. You have to kind of keep track of all
I
that
don't
stuff.
think I have a spell that can do that.
Okay. You could do Arcana, which kind of helps you just feel if something's magical really near you. That's it's not a really great way of using Arcana. Arcana is like kind of like a history roll for magic stuff, but I like using it like kind of a little bit loosey-goosey in this kind of situation since you are a wizard.
Yeah.
So you could get away with a little bit of that. It might not tell you very much either, but if you have a spell, that would help, or if you have maybe a really direct inquiry, like what if you ask something very specific, that would also help.
I mean, I could try to roll and just see what happens. I feel like it's better than doing nothing.
Might
so.
as well.
Okay, here we go.
Just do it. 15.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's see here. You do feel like there's some magic about this room. Obviously, you're not going to get specifics, but it does feel like there's something about this room that's magical.
Okay. I feel something magical. Don't know what it is, but it's there. So, if we want to go somewhere else to discuss things.
Nope, this is perfect.
Okay.
Tallulah's done her own investigation. She is. This is a.
Okay.
We're innocent. Why wouldn't we want them to hear that?
That's true.
Oh,
Good
man.
point.
So, Luke, and she's being like genuine and not, there's no like sarcasm or passive aggression or anything like that in this. You seem you don't seem worried much. about the charges that we're facing. Is there some reason for that?
How would he respond to that?
Saunter.
He saunters his way out of the room. No.
My favorite. It's like one of your
They
actions on
answered
your
everything.
character sheet, right? Saunter. Roll for saunter.
Sorry. I know as the player, I know why, but as him, why I don't know that he's fully conscious of why he does certain things. He'll just say, "I'm sure this matter will be, How would he say it? I apologize.
No, take your time.
Can you repeat the question really quick? Lula?
Why are you so confident that these
You don't
about these
seem
charges?
concerned about these charges, like worried about it. Why?
He shrugs. The legal situations are always mutable, Lula. As much as people like to pretend, and this will glance at Dubai, they aren't. I'm very much sure we'll be able to come to some arrangement at worst.
That just seems to contradict your opposition to going to the authorities earlier.
Well, just because I believe I can hold a hot coal in my hand doesn't mean I think I should.
So she's genuinely trying to understand. So is it that you think the authorities are inept or corrupt?
How many places have you lived, Tallulah?
I'm asking you questions.
This isn't that time to ask me questions.
Well, I think it has bearing.
A few.
A few. Dubai clearly was part of some established guard in some town. That's clear.
Answer the lady's question.
You need to understand. I've moved in circles of bearing. I've moved in circles of where matters have a bit more import than a drunken brawl or the local town gossip. The people, we are outside that tower, but the people inside are entirely able and undoubtedly willing to twist the laws of Astralarum as they see fit. You say, do I think that they are incompetent and corrupt? No, I think they're very good at doing what they are what they are supposed to do, which is not what they say they are, which is not to investigate the truth, protect Madame Wallace. They are there for one particular reason, and it is to serve the people who command Astralarum.
So then why are you not more concerned about the charges we're facing?
We'll come to some accord with these people.
What accord?
How would we do that? We're common people. Even if we come from great bearing, we were happy to earn just a measly 10 gold in comparison to powerful people in a powerful city. That can't mean much.
We're common. Yeah, we are common people, yes. But again, I feel that you are sticking on what ifs and what we might do, when the crux of the matter is what we'll do tonight.
And what is that exactly?
Are we going to take the gentleman, the Theurgist fate, and
Wait, what?
the Theurgist who we gave the letter to?
What's his bait?
Then you asked if we could go to this meeting and get it. Excuse me. He very clearly answered that it would be trespassing. That we would still be liable to legal repercussions. However, he also encouraged us to investigate to our utmost. Do you not understand? Do you not see the dichotomy there?
I see the dichotomy. I'm trying to understand what you're referring to as bait. In which way do you think he's baiting us?
He could be very easily if he's in the mood to string us along. He might assume that we're going to this and lay a trap that might not have been already there if we had just gone to the reunion or the meeting. But very much could be now that we have alerted an antagonistic authority figure who is investigating the case.
So you believe that that was said so that we would go there and...
You easily could have. Again, you're trading in certainties rather than probabilities.
I kind of look over at Divide. Does it feel like we're going in circles? I guess what I want to ask, you say bait. What I want to know now is, do you think that, well, do you think we should go there? Do
Absolutely.
you think it, even if it is some kind of trap from the authorities? Why?
We merely need to be supremely careful in our approach, more than we were going to be earlier.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Sure. We go and we're just real careful that we don't alert anybody. That's smart.
What are we, ladies? What are we talking about here? No.
Did you call him carrying a lady?
No. I'm talking to Lula and Asuna.
To the two reasonable ones.
Yeah. Like, ladies, no, we
Okay.
can't listen to him. He makes no sense. We
I feel like we're trying to barter out of like any charges we would get or something, and that's not how that works.
Well, I don't
Oh.
imagine any of us presently have the means to afford a good
Inquisitor.
inquisitor.
And we shouldn't have needed one because we were just trying to save one lady, and now we have multitudes of charges against us that we are apparently accomplices of.
We can't dwell on the past, darling. This is the way that things are now, unfortunately, and I get you. I'm not happy about it, and I will remember this, and it will come up. But we have to deal with what's at hand now, right?
And how do you want to commit more crimes in order to do that?
I honestly don't know. I want to hear everyone's perspective.
Devi, I think you need to cleave your sense of right and wrong from what is legal.
Quiet, ladies. Ladies. Let us go to the town in search for Miss Wallace.
Is that so? That's what you think our next step should be?
It's the only good thing that we could possibly do after all of
we
the.
have a solid lead. We have someone very clearly willing to volunteer pertinent information about this disappearance. Wasting time when there's already a team going to investigate her house. There could be things here that we need to take care of that we don't know of. I don't wish to go chasing red herrings when we have a very tangible lead here in our hand tonight.
I can't trust you to not enter into this temple. We could be outside of it, but even then, I don't know if you would go in or if you would.
That brings up a very good point, actually. So the solution I offered earlier of sending little friend in there, what if we kind of stealthily as we could, she kind of chuckles because
Stealthily.
show up around the area kind early and I send my friend in there around the meeting time, but to check things out. But we keep an eye to see if anybody's headed in. Now, it's possible that teleportation's a thing, so maybe somebody won't just walk right in there. Maybe they're going to teleport in there, and we'll find out. But there's no... I definitely feel your resistance to committing any more crimes, but we do need to find out now, and we already have a list of charges we're facing. Trespassing is so minimal compared to murder.
Well, you drew a line in the sand earlier. I respected it. Here is mine. I'm going to go to the temple tonight. I may not. If we don't need to trespass, I won't. But I want to find out what this person has to say.
What do you think, Asuna?
I mean, before I was on the other side, but now that you said it, you're like, oh, I'll go, like, check it out. And, like, if you don't have to trespass, don't trespass. I mean, why not? I guess. At this point, we're already so deep in the hole with everything we've gotten charged with. It's like, what's trespassing, I guess? I don't know. Like, at this point...
She likes the life of a criminal. That's what I think.
I mean, it's just...
Do we know what's, like, around the temple? Is it all just other temples?
You don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like... at this point, it's just I want to... Whether I guess it's a trap or not, and I'm also just curious of what's there. But...
Regarding our... I do have possessed some humble magical capacity. Nothing compared to the magus here, I'm sure. But I can comport my appearance. Twisted into another form. Is this something Tallulah can also do? That you can also do, grandmother?
Granny cannot do that.
No. We need a grandmother counter for the stream.
Mm-hmm. No, unfortunately, I cannot. But I am curious about what else is in the area. If there's a lot of foot traffic, if there's shops or food stalls or anything, because I might be able to at least create something of a distraction if that's the case, or look busy, because we can't all, if there's nobody, if that's like a desolate place nobody goes to and we're all just standing there, that's silly.
Yeah, it's gonna look a little weird.
Why would they want to meet us in an illegal building?
Maybe because they feel the need to hide.
Why would they have to hide in an illegal building?
Again, I feel like there are circumstances the law might cover which you might object to on a moral basis, Devi.
And you wouldn't?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that,
I wish law and morality were always hand in hand, but sometimes
indeed.
they're not.
Thank you, Tallulah. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Please don't thank me right now.
Oh my goodness. Should we roll for initiative? This feels like combat.
There's any number of reasons why that might happen, Devi. It could be they're in danger and they know that nobody's going to, they won't run into people.
That's a good point.
Could be perhaps somebody on the council is threatening them and they feel the council won't enter those buildings either. So, I mean, it could be a danger thing. It could be a privacy since those buildings are not used. It could be a trap.
It could be.
It could be a trap. It could be a plot to end our journey on this plane. But we do need to, we're here for adventure, right? We need to
do it.
Not be...
Is going to the village of Modell not an adventure?
Oh, that's definitely going to come tomorrow. We would need, even if we weren't going to the temple, I don't think we should start out on a journey like that in the middle of the day.
Oh, I don't mean we have to do it today, but it doesn't have to follow after a night of breaking into an unauthorized location.
Devi, if you wish, you can remain at the Wanderers Guild, and I will testify
Yes.
that you remain
Split up.
here. And you
Split
can,
up
No.
you
again.
can
Split
see
up.
what Sarah and my cat is
Bergam.
doing on my notes. Thank you. You can be Sarah Bergam for an alibi.
What's your apprehension, Devi? I get the criminal charges, but it seems to be a deeper issue for you. What is that?
The issue is all of you being thrown in jail, and Miss Wallace remaining disappeared.
Well, you brought up morality. Do you feel that breaking laws is a moral failing?
The question I have is, was he, Mr. Luke here, was he breaking these laws to find Miss Wallace, or breaking these laws because he just likes breaking law?
That's a valid question.
Yeah.
Valid
It's
question.
pretty ambiguous at this point, I'd say.
I would never break laws just to break laws.
What's the fun in that?
Why do I feel
Does
no
he seem
comfort?
truthful?
Yes, you would never break a law solely to break a law. That is 100% a truthful, weaselly way of saying. Like, I have no opposition to breaking laws, but it's always in the pursuit of something greater, such
What is
as
great?
finding Lady Wallet. Surely
Well,
that's
I would-
a greater motivation.
I would argue his motivation was clearing charges against him, but sufficient.
Something greater, as I
You
said.
got to start somewhere, right?
Jeez.
You got to start.
And was
somewhere.
that the only thing that was stolen in pursuit of finding Miss Wallace?
Stolen? What? Again,
It's
we
like
got permission.
slimy. You can't grab on him. Can't get your grab on him at
Again,
all.
we got permission to borrow the thing, as I will argue in front of the magistrate.
Did you take anything else?
I don't appreciate that implication.
Oh my god.
You were in the room with me.
He's just gonna stare at him, patiently waiting. Did you depart
what-
that building with
what time?
anything else?
I didn't walk out with anything I didn't have on me besides the straps of metal.
Excellent. See, there you go. You just gotta figure out what kind of language this boy needs.
Mhm.
It's tedious, but
I
we got
walked
there.
into out of character. I walked into that building with the wax on my person.
Yes.
What? Oh,
So, what time of the day is it?
you can tell me
Uh,
later. It's fine.
Out of character, what Devi is alluding to is he stepped out into the alley and made a key mold of the key to the back door of Able to March Jewelry. Not because he intends to use it, but it's nice to have irons in the fire. It might come in useful later.
Okay.
So
I mean, I
yes,
wouldn't know
everything
that.
I walked into that store, I walked out with.
Great. But I want to get back to your discomfort with this, Devi. It seems to me like we're asking you to do something morally wrong.
I feel I have to accompany now to make sure he doesn't actually do anything further illegal than this than
Well-
is necessary.
But so
I-
then you are okay with the trespassing.
No, but I believe we should go to the building and see if we cannot track down this individual.
Well, I don't expect you to be okay with it, but you are accepting of it, I guess, is what I mean. I don't love it. I'd rather not do it, but I don't know. I feel like before we leave town to go check out that village, we should probably find a way to see what's going on with this letter in that building. I hate it.
If it's the best way to find Mrs. Wallace, then I guess it must be done.
Well, we don't know if it's the best way, but it is. I think it's.
So we shouldn't do it.
I think
It could be a
no,
way.
I think it is worth doing. Sometimes hard things are worth doing, and sometimes things that make us uncomfortable are worth doing.
But
I
is
think
it the best hard thing that we should do?
Tonight? Yes.
Sometimes one must risk to reap rewards.
No, you know what? You are not helping yourself. Just stop speaking before I change my mind again. I need.
Ever help himself?
Not yet. I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting.
What?
He was born with a shovel to dig himself into deeper and deeper holes.
Maybe at level 2 if he makes it there.
Hey, that's growth, right?
Yeah, I just need out of this room for a moment, many moments. Just, don't speak to me again until tonight.
Mission accomplished, right, Luke? The day started out like you two were besties, and then by the end, you would speak to each other.
Have you ever seen that old journal where someone in Victorian times kept a diary, and the first entry is like, I met my soulmate. Her name is something something. Her name is Lady Lily, we'll say, and then the very next entry is too hasty by half. That Lily woman is not for me. It's like the very next day. I feel like that's where we are right now. But it's okay. We'll grow, We'll grow.
It's evolving. Yeah.
It definitely is evolving.
You need to kill the rust out of a field before you can plant a heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's so true.
This is some rocky ground, definitely.
So we're determined farmers.
Or an earthquake, a colossal earthquake waiting to happen. Find out next time.
Yeah.
But at being instructed not to talk to her, he will simply put up his hand like, all right, and gesture to the door.
Well, hold on. Do we want to ask?
I'm already gone.
Yeah, I'm asking them. Then it's fine.
Yeah.
Do we want to
walks down the stairs, down out the door. You watch him. Go ahead. Sorry.
Do we want to ask? I can't remember names. The person at the desk. What is around? Yeah, Brigham. What's where this temple is and what's around it, or is that going to look suspicious? You think?
I don't know that anything we do will be more or less suspicious at this point.
That's
Already
true.
spent that currency, pretty much.
There's a lot of apathy going on here. It's not the end. You can't just throw up your hands and go, well, we're dead anyway. Like, there's ways to handle this with minimal risk. We can't just throw caution to the wind. We can still minimize those risks.
Oh, I have full faith we'll come out of this. And that is the God's honest truth he is saying right now. He has full faith that we'll come out of this.
We'll get out of this.
As a white man that has never faced any real consequences, this will be fine. That's the vibe I'm getting here.
Definitely some privilege there.
As I said, there's some things Lucarian isn't aware of about himself. Anyway, my point being, Bergam already was willing to tell us about the escape, being able to spirit us out of the city, which I don't think the authorities would be eager to hear about. So I think we can ask them about that.
So was that a genuine offer from Bergam? Because the vibe I got was from you was that it was like, Yeah, we could totally get you an escape route, sucker.
Today, like when he just talked to you,
No, when they talked last time.
yesterday. Yeah, it was like an aside thing that came up that Lucarian like jumped on.
Yeah.
Right. So he was like, yeah, I get, he's like, what? Oh, okay. Like he's still trying to figure out if you guys are straight up murdering people in town or whatever. But it's an offer. That's the takeaway.
Okay. And the person that vouched for us, the officer, that was the guy that taught the class?
No, that's Bergam.
Oh. Who's the guy
Same
that
guy.
vouched for us?
Same guy.
So then the guy,
Bergam
but the guy that vouched
Lee.
for us, who's that?
The Bergam.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's the guy who, when we return to the Wonders Guild, looked
I
at us
see.
all wide-eyed,
Sorry.
like, "Oh, you came back."
I see.
We
Okay.
should probably thank him. Now that I think about it, he did testify on our behalf.
Okay.
Well, that was weird that Lucarian's the one to come up with.
I mean, one has to, acknowledge the efforts.
Are you gonna pat him on the head verbally when you thank him?
Yeah.
Just doing a job, servant.
You can't be stern with the people who assist you in life. That builds resentment. It doesn't build true loyalty. Be understanding and patient. Appreciative when they do well.
They do well, like vouching for your lives. Chop, chop. Defend me.
Great. Let's go ask him, I guess.
Okay, first, Devise obviously left, and I don't know where. She probably maybe went either outside.
Outside,
or-
yeah.
Outside. So you're getting like fresh air, basically. Okay, so you don't see Devi, but you walk yourself back out into the main entryway of the Wanderers Guild. Bergam is there. He's like, everything all right? I saw.
Smoothly. In no small part thanks to you.
No thanks to you. I saw that your instinct was no thanks to you,
Yeah.
bastard. Yes, no small thanks. Oh, yes, I did talk to. Are you speaking about the matter with the Theurgist?
What other matter could we be speaking of?
With you? Who knows? It could
What
be
occupies
anything.
our time these days?
You're very busy wanderers, that's for sure. Yes, of course. It is I felt it was my duty after speaking with you all yesterday.
Very kind of you. It will not be forgotten.
You could probably forget it. We'd be okay.
It won't be forgotten.
No.
Love it
you
if you
can-
never thought of me again.
Yeah, you know what? It's okay.
I promise, Bergam.
No,
Your
no.
assistance in this
No.
matter will not
No,
be forgotten.
please. No. It's time to put in for that vacation.
The bards would truly sing about this for ages.
Bergam, he lets murderers go free.
A friend to the downtrodden, an ally of the persecuted, Bergam.
Bergam.
Ally of the truly guilty.
Okay.
Ask your question.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Would you be able to tell us more about the Temple of Hope?
Temple of Hope. It's abandoned.
What part of town is it located in? Are there still people living in the area?
It's back in the Via Parade. Kind of down a couple different streets from the Prideful Pet.
Is it on that street? Is there a lot of? Is it all just temples on that street?
The three temples that used to run in Astralarum are on that street, sure.
Is it heavily trafficked?
There are still people. It cuts through a pretty major part of the district. All right, if you guys want to pray, you might have to go out to Exclusia. Are you
Yeah.
looking for some divine intervention?
Yeah, you caught us. We are in rather dire straits.
Have the gods turn their back on you in Astralarum?
The gods never turn their back on me, man.
Maybe that's the problem. Might be the root cause.
I that roughly covers the information. Is there anything else you know about the area? Have you been there yourself?
Oh, people aren't allowed to go into the temples. Obviously, the Astralarum is not too kind on people that pray. Everybody else that wants to do that basically takes outside the city walls.
Why is that, by the way?
Why is what?
Why are they so opposed to religious folk here?
Well, because of the arcane trials. Years ago.
Would I know anything about that? Is it big common knowledge?
It's pretty big. But I don't know if Qua would are super into that. They're more I wouldn't say druidic because there are definitely religious and magical Qua and everybody, there's no one type or whatever. You're traveled, you probably would know a little bit about it. You could be oh yeah, because of the arcane trials. You could be hey, why is that? Oh, is it because of that? Because it's still kind of far out in your memory or whatever. Basically,
well, my history knowledge isn't great, so it'd probably be a vague idea, right. Very minimal.
It would be that at one point magic users and religious were really hating each other, but you didn't know maybe the product of what happened from that, and this is one of the products of that. But it happened centuries ago.
Okay.
But surely there must be people who are faithful and don't want to travel all the way to Exclusia. How would one find out if someone went into the temple and prayed? Are they monitored or something?
Oh, not that I know of. Just don't let any of the guards see you.
Are there guards?
Certainly, all over the city.
Ah, you mean the city watch?
Kind of. You could call them that.
What would you call them?
Okay, so I know what it is.
Right.
Would Tallulah have observed that?
Asuna would know. If Asuna's listening, she could say something. Tallulah, you're probably not paying attention that much. You can
you're talking about the guards?
Yes, Asuna will. Hold on one second. Let me answer.
Yeah.
Tallulah super quickly. You could maybe petition that you do. I don't know why you'd be looking at this. You got a hint, obviously, already.
Well,
Earlier.
did the others move to watch? Because she was looking around at everything. So did they?
Yeah, but not A to B. It's A means this, so therefore B.
Yeah.
There's so much weird stuff going on.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like she might just be kind of.
It would add into the pot of wow, this place is crazy. There's a bunch of weird stuff. I mean, you saw instruments playing themselves, oh, magical. Asuna, what are you doing during this conversation? Lucarian and Tallulah are obviously speaking up at the desk, speaking with Bergam. You're probably you're there. Maybe you're not up there because it sounds like you're kind of just listening passively a little bit.
Yeah, maybe just kind of off to the side, but still able to listen in on.
Why don't you give me a perception roll, and if you get high enough, this is something your ears will pick up a little bit.
Here we go.
Yeah, you know about the guards in Astralarum. You've passed probably 30 of them, maybe more. You saw some outside the walls of the High Citadel. They're statues. They're moving statues.
So, wait, can you say that again? Are they... So you're talking about the High Citadel. We saw those. But are you talking about they're in and outside of the city?
They're
everywhere.
Okay. Gotcha.
Sometimes they're standing like statues. Sometimes they're moving. Generally, they're standing. They're usually standing, but they've seen them move. But Everything is magical. That's why I don't think Tallulah would be like, you didn't see somebody get accosted by them or anything like that. It wasn't like you've only been here a day and a half or whatever. You know to stay away from it, but it's not something you've been here for a long part of your life. You're not like, oh man, you just know to stay away from, like anytime you just see like regular cops, you're like, well, shit over there. I don't have to get involved. So you could mention something to interrupt Lucarian's question, basically, if you want to. You don't have to say anything just because you know it, though.
I mean, I think it would be good for the situation that we're in
to know where the guards are.
Mention it.
Probably.
So, I don't know, if I kind of overhear them and sort of just interrupt with hey, basically everything you just said. Give them the info about the guards and stuff, and because I would feel normally I would stand back and kind of just keep to myself or whatever, but I feel in this situation, given the circumstances, be like, hey guys, just so you know, here's the deal with
we passed a bunch of guards.
Yeah,
they're all over the place. Those
they're
statues
everywhere.
Did she say they're statues?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming
they're
you have
statues.
to
yeah, and they're
and Tallulah clicks for you. You're like, oh geez, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're literally everywhere.
I don't know if you would. I mean, you can tell me what you think of seeing statues move around in a magical city. Maybe you can get a little bit of an, oh yeah, that's crazy. But you don't have to.
I think knowing Luke's backstory, most of his experience with magic is through spectacle.
Right.
So I'll say, things like a lady suddenly vanishing, or statues moving. I don't know that he's appreciative the practical application of that. He'll be like, oh sure, of course, they're putting on a show. Magic.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, so that's information to you, definitely. And Bergham's like, yeah, they're all over the city.
And you people live like that?
You people?
Eyes upon
what do you mean, you people?
You people of Astralarum.
Oh, I thought you meant Wilmer.
No, my apologies.
Uh-huh.
You people of Astralarum live like that, with eyes upon them at every hour?
Keeps the city safe from murderers. He looks at you.
Clearly it doesn't, if the lady has been murdered.
We don't know that!
We don't, and no, neither does anyone else.
My gosh,
why
calm
would
yourself.
you say that?
In front of other people. I love it.
Oh, Lordy.
You should all thank me that I didn't let the Theurgist let you guys talk very much.
I'm very conscious to keep my mouth shut.
Okay, good. We worked in tandem then.
Lucarian's going to shake his head at the barbarity of this city.
Barbarity. I love the irony of that, yes. Continue.
And, how frequent are these statues posted? I mean, we've seen in the city,
you're thinking back through walking around the city. It's almost every street. Not the big streets, definitely. Not the side streets or the little alleyways, when you went behind the Prideful Pet, not like that. And they're not all over the place, but they're pretty often, or you've seen a couple walk around. They're usually in pairs. It's not to your mind, saying you might want to do something illicit without being caught. You figure you could probably, there's enough space in between them to make something happen. They're not every 5 feet or something insane,
What are there general capacities known? Are they able to see? They have magical vision?
You don't know anything about that.
All right.
Do I know that?
Nah, it's pretty up there. They have some sort of preternatural knowledge of things happening, that what's the word, ends up they end up appearing, or like let's say like somebody's been accosted, they show up, eventually. But it's not, in your experience, like immediate, and they're not like there. It's not like Minority Report, like precogging, like something that they're not super crazy, but they obviously have something going on, part of their like just their animation that makes them in tune with certain things. Something that you don't understand, but it is obviously magical. You don't have like specific, like, oh, they can see through walls or they can hear for a million miles, whatever. Nothing like that. That's a little too crazy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My concern is whether or not they can see through disguise self. But
you don't know that.
Yeah.
You want to test it?
Not right yet. I will.
Plan B.
Put it on, just go kick one, see what happens.
Can you see me?
And I don't do these things just to do them. I do them for a purpose. I'll test it when there's a need to test it. So try not to.
Yeah. Why play your hand so early on?
Mm-hmm.
I suddenly feel really bad for the other players that had to play with Brixie.
Now that you're on the other side of this.
She was nice, though.
It's been rough for those guys.
Yeah.
Whatever
It's interesting to see how chaotic players can be in different circumstances. That's not always the same. I kill everybody in the town. That's very chaotic. But also I drive everybody crazy in the town, or I pet every dragon in the town. There's so many different ways that it can like manifest itself. It's really interesting to see this other side with Theurgist as a chaotic key, in quotes, character. It's pretty great.
If it helps, he doesn't consider himself.
Oh, I know he doesn't. That's what makes that's
I mean,
that's a chef's kiss of that situation. I don't think Brixie felt that way
I
either.
don't think she did either. I don't know that many of them do. I mean, they're not a pain in the ass.
They're definitely a pain in the ass.
I feel like equating petting all the dragons to killing everyone in the village.
It takes all kinds of force. Yeah, I mean, you pet enough dragons, everybody in the village is going to die anyways. So.
Including you, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's some more than I think. It sucks too, because in this campaign, there's a bunch of dragons you can pet. Too bad Brixie's not around. Aww.
Oh, we'll see if
We'll see if you
the
live long enough to...
Carrion takes that mantle too.
He is a bard. Anywho,
I seduce it.
I use my clear charm to seduce the dragon.
Oh, great. I can't wait for that. That's going to be the nice last episode of Carrion. A willing, fitting send-off.
You're paying dragon child support.
Oh my god.
I'm not getting that at it.
That
is tightwad, no way. He is the definition of a deadbeat dad right now. He'd just be like, off to another city.
Well, there's another place I can't go.
He's got a list.
Down to 5.
He's got a list. He just scratches another one off.
Yeah, it was 6 and down to 5.
Eventually, he'll end up like the L. Ron Hubbard ship out at sea.
Yeah, that's all he's got left.
It'll work out. Look, it'll work out.
Get out to international waters. You'll be fine.
You just need to keep telling yourself it'll work out, and it will.
The power of positive thinking. It's done such wonders for you guys so far. All right.
I like how he just flips back and forth whenever it's convenient. He's either super pessimistic or like, you just got to believe in yourself. Privilege.
It does.
It's not genuine optimism.
It does fit his character. I'd like to see his next character after he gets burned alive by a dragon, and see how confident the next character is. All right, we're about wrapping up. Is there any last things we're going to do? Devi, you're outside. How's the fresh air out there? It's becoming nighttime now.
Yeah, she's probably out there for 20 minutes and then went back inside to see what was going on.
Okay, so they're wrapping up the conversation. You walk back in from outside. You see everybody talking about statue guards.
Okay, yeah, I walk over there and just kind of see what's going on. I don't say anything. I just walk in. I start listening wherever the conversation's taking place at that point.
You're not like glaring at anybody in particular. Bergam.
No, she's more interested in what the conversation is, why they're talking. Like she's surprised they're talking to Bergam.
Yeah.
And she was gonna thank him as well. So like she just kind of she's like. So it's like I was like, whoa, they're actually talking to the officer. This is he incriminating himself further?
Yes.
But also like this guy
All
just
above.
like saved our ass. So yeah, so listening right now.
Okay. Do you guys say anything else as Devi walks in?
No. I mean, thank you for your
You
help.
wrap up,
and your
yeah.
gun and all that. But
Okay.
We're gonna go for a walk.
it's too. Well, I think we should have dinner.
Yeah, you guys are probably pretty
I
hungry.
would like to eat.
That's fair.
Lucarian, can I see your coat for a minute?
It's finely tailored, by the way.
It
Has
is.
she-
He's actually gonna like kind of grab it in both hands and like scooch away from you a little bit. Why would you need to see my coat?
Mm.
It's a beautiful coat. I can tell it's finely made, but it does have a little wear and tear. I thought I could help you with. Might help you feel.
I believe you can see my coat just fine from where you're standing, grandmother. But thank you.
You don't want any repairs done to it?
Immediately
If I-
disgustful.
If I wish to have repairs done to my clothes, I shall seek them out myself.
Oof.
Dang.
Cookies weren't that good, I guess.
She actually
I
kind of
actually
looked.
haven't eaten- I
She
haven't
looked
eaten
slightly
their cookies
dejected
yet.
by that,
Okay.
Aw.
Okay.
and just walks off to get. She goes, "Okay," and walks off to get food.
You're saying it like in a not suspicious way
Right.
when you asked about it.
There's
You're just
no
like, hey.
suspicion or judgment. Like,
just
hey,
like,
I
hey.
noticed.
Okay.
Can I get your coat?
Okay. I feel like Lucarian would still be on
Yeah,
brand
it's
for that.
Oh, yeah,
appropriate.
he wouldn't let anyone
Yeah.
touch that. That's
Okay. All right. You guys walk into the dining hall once more. I'm
Have
assuming.
you seen that that famous mural that got fixed, like renovated in Spain, where like it's a picture of Jesus? And then,
Yes.
that's going in his head right now.
Where she did the fixing of the face, just got like kind of like.
Yeah,
Brrr. Are you expecting that, but in a code form?
God.
exactly.
Luckily, that's an interior thought. Otherwise, combat. All right, you guys go into the dining hall and get your food, and we get our awards and experience. All right, guys. That was another fantastic episode full of twists and turns, and you're not dead yet somehow. We got your first 20 I forgot to put in, so you got that. But now we've got the other awards to do. We've got heroic, chaotic, explorative, and interactive. I want to know who is the most of that. We're going to start with heroic. Who was the most heroic? In chat, you can jump in. Take that into account as well. Heroic, let's start with Lucarian. Who do you think was the most heroic?
Tallulah.
Lula, the hero. Asuna, who do you think?
I'd say Devi, I think.
Devi, excellent. Devi, who do you think is the most heroic this episode?
Tallulah, but she,
For Tallulah.
she saved us from prison immediately. That all of us probably would
Immediately.
have in the inside the questioning chamber.
And Tallulah, what do you think? Who was the most heroic?
I was gonna say Devi because he was very strict, or she was very strict about going to the authorities and all of that.
Is that heroism though?
A strong sense of right or wrong, whether it's good or bad, is irrelevant. It's a strong sense of right or wrong. Sometimes heroes are terrible.
I'm gonna have to go with Devi for that one. She gets the heroic. Tallulah, I think that makes a good point. Moving on to chaotic. Who was the most chaotic? Asuna. Who was the most chaotic?
Luke.
Luke. Tallulah. Who was the most chaotic?
Luke.
Devi. Who was
That's
the
my
most...
award.
Luke.
Guillam, who do you think was the most chaotic?
I thought we were all pretty, we kept it pretty locked in. I can't say.
You abstain from voting.
I abstained.
Okay, you abstain from voting. That, of course, gets you chaotic. Let's see if that shows up. There we go. We've got explorative, who really explored their surroundings. Holy moly. I'm going to start with Devi on that one. Explorative.
I don't know if it's exploring what I did. I'm gonna vote for myself. Let's
for
explore
yourself.
voting.
Why
Let's
not,
explore
buddy?
voting for myself. Because
Vote
I've
for yourself.
Devi, went through the city and stuff. Yeah.
That's true. All right. Beast, explorative.
I'm gonna vote for myself.
Yes. Now we're getting
Okay, I
This is the
started a
episode.
trend.
This
Let's
is
go.
the episode where it all crumbles.
Tallulah was my
Guillam,
second. She did investigate.
I did ask a lot of questions. I
Because I
think
asked
I
them.
was pretty good about.
That's interactive, so
Trying
you
to
can
get
save
to
that
the
for
heart of
interactive.
things.
This is more
Oh, that's
like
true.
actual
I guess
looking around, doing
investigative.
things. You investigated in the room, though. You when you did you didn't do well, but you tried, and that doesn't matter for rewards.
Hey, fresh.
That's all right. Vote for yourself.
No, I guess I'll
No?
do Devi for that one.
I was hoping a four-way tie. Guillam, who was the most explorative?
The next one is interactive, right?
Yeah, that's like more people, like talking to people or whatever. This is more like interacting with the world.
Because Tallulah was investigating in the room, I'm going to say Tallulah.
All right. That makes sense. And Allie, who do you think was the most explorative? Tallulah. I'm going to go with Tallulah for that one. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Explorative.
Tallulah was my number 2, after myself. So
So
Oh,
really,
number one.
everyone wins. And then finally, we do have
By staying silent, I was exploring my inner life. So
deeply,
Fair enough.
you're deeply rich.
Just a bunch of women singing about how great you are.
don't assume his sexuality.
You're right. I'm sorry. A bunch of individuals singing about how great you are, but they're scantily clad in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do have our last one, most interactive. Let's start with Allie this time.
I'd say Tallulah. So I feel like you asked a lot of good questions.
She did take point on some things, that's sure true, but it also takes into account other players. So I do agree with that. Z, who do you think was most interactive?
yeah, I was gonna say Tallulah too.
All right, Bees, what about you?
Me.
And Guillam?
I think the Carrion was, like when he went and baked his breakfast in the morning, and when he talked to the Theurgist.
He was most interactive about getting us charges. So
Yes.
he's definitely-
He tried his
He's
best.
interacted with the legal system the most.
But,
So.
Exactly.
I did not want to interact with the legal system at all.
That's true. That's I may have helped that
Fair
interaction.
enough.
All right.
But Tallulah.
All right. That gives us some experience points. We're at Luke. You've got 114.
That would be a level up.
Yeah. Asuna 107. Asuna 107. Devi 113. And Tallulah 120. Catching up. I think that means everyone except for Bees might be hitting level 2. Please make sure you look into that and upgrade your characters before next session.
I apologize, GM. You said 114?
Yes, sir. You got it.
Thank you.
Of course.
What's the equation for your HP again?
We can talk about that separately. It's not too hard. It's usually I think it's your level and you're a fighter times, is it D10? And then it's more than
that's
half of
okay.
that. I think that's it. Okay. That is the show, I believe. Oh, that's all the show I can handle. I don't know about you guys. That has been a tension-filled chapter of Tales of Galaea. As always, I want to thank my players for giving it their some and give some
Wow.
more recognition to our incredible and interactive audience. Thank you very much, everyone who watched. Be sure to watch our recap interview show Wander's Wit next week, and don't miss the next installment of the Tales of Galaea, where these guys will probably strangle each other in the foyer of the Wanderers Guild. Until then, thank you all, and good night.
Good night.
Bye.
High dive.